Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Well, we've seen many players want new contracts from the Cowboys, but rarely, Perloff, does it get to a trade request, which is what we got from Micah Parsons. Hope you had a great weekend, everybody. Micah Parsons still showing up to practice, not practicing, though. And now it's obviously the war of words with him and Jerry.
Yeah, you know my stance on this. Bring him home. Put Micah Parsons in green. We've seen enough. It's over, Maggie. It's over, Maggie.
Get out of here, Philadelphia. This isn't your moment. You're the reigning Super Bowl champions. You got to sit this one out. But here's what's different.
We'll see about that, by the way, but go ahead.
Also, funny that he said Micah said he grew up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, rooting for the Cowboys. That was part of the 3-page sort of notes that he posted on social media, formally requesting a trade from Stephen Jones. And, Jerry the next day, as this has become like, who's going to get the upper hand and who's going to get the last word. First of all, Jerry may have met his match here with Micah Parsons because other guys who have been through these contract stalls have kind of disappeared. CeeDee Lamb's away from the team. Ezekiel Elliott was away from the team. Even wasn't Travis Frederick away from the team. Dak's there, but he doesn't say anything because he's the quarterback and he feels like he has to be a CEO and all buttoned up. This is the first time Micah's out there naming names, getting into details, the TikTok of everything that's going down. And so, it's going to get really uncomfortable here. And normally it was like, all right, well, let Jerry have the last word, but I'll get the money. Well, Micah's not doing that. So he's making it dirty and muddying the waters with the truth, presumably. And I think it's making Jerry uncomfortable because the more Jerry says, oh, I've been here before, don't lose any sleep over it, I think the more he actually is getting to a spot where he's like, I got to pay up. I know I have to pay up. Yeah. And I'm not going to, I could have maybe gotten a hometown discount on this thing if I had just done it earlier. And now I'm not, so I might as well dig in.
Actually, it sounds more like Jerry Jones would be comfortable in this because this seems to be his modern MO is to let this thing go last minute. Not only that, Jerry, you always said Jerry just wants to be in the headlines, not win a Super Bowl. I feel like Jerry's very comfortable. He is number one story coming out of a July, August weekend. I think Jerry's very comfortable in this spot. In fact, I think Jerry would be uncomfortable if he wasn't in this spot. This is typical Jerry Jones. I mean, he loves high-profile names. He loves high-profile stories. He loves buzz. Feels like this is working out kind of the way he would prefer.
Yeah, like maybe, but I would ask, and people have accused me of kind of like being a hater on Jerry because I said that he wants to have the headlines more than he wants to win. And I've pushed back against people who said, no, Jerry wants to win more than anybody. No, he doesn't. He already got into the Hall of Fame. The Dallas Cowboys are worth more money than any other franchise. We just saw the Lakers sell for whatever they sold for. The Cowboys would get more than that. They'll probably get more than the Yankees if the Yankees ever sold. I don't think so. And, I got like pushback on that because if Jerry really did want to win, he wouldn't keep doing this thing over and over again. CeeDee Lamb says it stinks. Dak Prescott says it stinks. All these guys say it actually hurts the team. The Bengals keep getting off to these horrible starts. Well, what are they finally doing? Finally, their guys are going to play the preseason. They're trying to change something that's obviously wrong.
That's your model? Is Mike Brown and the Bengals?
Well,
okay.
I'm just saying, like, someone actually recognized, not from the contract standpoint, but when you recognize things are bad or that things have not changing, you haven't won since 1995. You keep doing these prolonged holdouts, and the guys are telling you that it's impacting them in a negative way. Try it a different way, Jerry, just to change it up.
Yeah, good luck with that. I mean, I think you just appropriately went back to 1995 or 1994 when he fired Jimmy. Yeah. He hasn't tried anything new in 30 years. Why would you expect him to do something new here?
Well, for people who tell me he only wants to win, Maggie, he's all about winning. Exhibit A, B, C, D, and E.
This is where you're wrong. He thinks he's winning.
Not on the field.
There's a
win-loss record there. It's easy to see who wins.
Look at his record over the last 4 years. What about
the playoff record?
I am well aware. They're 10 games over 500 in the regular season. He probably thinks, I am doing this right. I'm telling you, I think Jerry Jones has deluded himself into thinking he's some sort of genius.
Okay, so there's another part of this, which is, at first, and they've always tried to do this sort of like lip service about how much Jerry and Micah like each other and how much they like each other. Well, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of trust. And not just recently, but Jerry will tell on himself because he talks to the media so much. And after Micah Parsons made the trade request, he tells this story about Dez Bryant, okay? And he tells a story about Dez Bryant's contract. I don't know why we have to go in the way back machine for this, but Manny, can you play cut 3? So Jerry's talking about how the Dez Bryant deal got done with the rapper Jay-Z.
When we have a problem within a team and a player, I don't ever find the agent. He's nowhere to be found. Okay? Jay-Z said that Micah would make not Micah, but that Dez would make all meetings. Jay-Z and I negotiated the contract. We spent hours negotiating the contract, Jay-Z. And he said, anybody in my organization is on time. He said, my office used to be on the street corner, and I've always been early. So they will be on time. I said, where did I sign? But I'm going to call you. Finally, he quit taking my call.
Yeah, weird. More from Jerry here says agents don't solve issues during negotiations.
When the issues come up, the first one and the one that is there is us and the player. My experience, hadn't been the agent, is not the one that solves the problems you have when you're executing what you said you would do in the contract. So I like to deal directly with the player.
See, this is what I don't understand from Jerry. And he's like, well, this isn't about Dez Bryant versus Micah Parsons. Like, well, but if Dez was late for meetings or not showing up for doing his end of the bargain, what makes you think Micah Parsons is going to be a pain in your butt? Like, you've got to know your guy at this point. Does he have the same issues as Dez Bryant? Because if I'm Micah now I'm ticked off because first you said I might not be healthy enough to execute this when I'm out there busting my butt for you and getting hurt for you and your team and making you money. And then secondly, it's kind of like I don't trust that you're going to sign this contract and have the same, motivation.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is I'm laughing too because I know Jay-Z was definitely not an agent, right? Like Jay-Z had an agent. So like what, again, like I always feel like you're breaking him down too seriously. I feel like it's gotten to the point where he is in the old codger stage. I'm sorry, that sounds terribly, I'm sorry, that is ageist. But it doesn't feel like, just that story alone is not serious, right? Like, he negotiated a deal with Jay-Z, who's not his agent, and then somebody was late. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, these deals, and this sounds like this whole Jerry and Micah Parsons thing has gotten into farce territory. Like, and the one thing I will say, Micah Parsons plays into this. You said it well earlier. Jerry's met his match with Micah Parsons. Micah will go there. Like, he's creating all this drama, bringing up all these old stories. Like, it'll probably, the most likely scenario is they'll end up finding a way to get on the same page. But, man, it's going to be fireworks. But I don't know if this is serious. I think it's window dressing. I still feel like behind the scenes, the Cowboys are letting Jerry do his thing, and then they'll come in at the last minute and save this deal because Jerry's not making any sense, Maggie.
Well, I mean, Jerry also told on himself in this particular media scrum because he said that when it comes to the big deals, he's the one who gets them done. So all the good stuff that the Cowboys have done with like the, Fergusons of the world and getting in front of stuff, that's obviously someone else, and all the messy stuff is him. So
I've never had anything I wanted I couldn't get.
Yeah, well, Cowboy fans, I mean, you know exactly where to place the blame. No question about that.
I really I don't understand why now people are turning against Jerry because of Micah Parsons. They're not mad that he didn't sign Derrick Henry, even though they had the money last year. They're not mad that they just made Brian Schottenheimer the head coach. They're not mad about $100 million other things going back to 1994 when he fired Jimmy Johnson. Why is Micah Parsons the straw that broke the camel's back for Cowboys fans?
Because I think there's almost like no doubt. Maybe that's it.
Why was there doubt before? Well, it's been 30 years.
No, there's not. But like, if you're asking me, I don't know. Jerry's been pulling the same trick. He's a one-trick pony, quite frankly. But I think I think that there's no doubt. Like, you could just said Derrick Henry. I mean, a lot of teams passed on him. No one knew a running back after 30, Pearl. Like, there's the tails of guys just automatically dropping off. All right, I'm not going to give him a pass for that. You're just asking. CeeDee Lamb, you pay that much for a wide receiver. You're the one who told me wide receiver's new running back.
But CeeDee had a good year, so I'm fine with that.
Okay, Dak Prescott. We could talk for 4 hours whether Dak Prescott was worth a second contract. I think that there's all these those guys were maybe there was a question. You have Micah Parsons, who you drafted, who has delivered. All pro seasons.
Yeah.
I know he hasn't won a defensive player of the year, but every other metric he has in his first 4 seasons is better than TJ Watt, right? And better than Myles Garrett through the first 4 years as far as production. He doesn't have that one elusive defensive player of the year, but how do you think, I think we all believe he's going to get there. It's the no-brainer part of it, right?
Yeah, but I think that there's actually, when this is all said and done, and you look back at the Jerry Jones era, well, I know there's a big documentary coming back. I kind of doubt that Micah Parsons will be the biggest mistake. Whatever happens here, there's going to be 10 other things that you point to, moves that they made. I think coaching is probably where you start. He always seems to like these Jason Garrett, Dave Campo. He wants a coach he can control. He wants a roster he can control. This is, I think, emblematic of Jerry's process. But this, to me, is like business as usual, not some crazy Jerry Jones mistake.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Is this going to be the one that just, I think it's even if everyone believes this is all theater and that it's eventually going to get signed, there's an exhaustion level to this that I think is new, newish.
Wow. I saw a tweet from our friend Albert Breer at Sports Illustrated who noted how happy Jerry Jones must be that Jay-Z got into the story. Now it's like Jerry's got his name in the story with Jay-Z and he loves celebrity. It's like, bring it on. I'm sure he would. I mean, he's a guy who probably is more concerned with getting Beyonce to play the Cowboys stadium than actually winning football, per your take. I think this is all good for Jerry. You don't think he likes this battle? This battle royale, and it's being portrayed as him versus Micah and him versus David Mulugeta. I think Jerry loves this drama, to be honest. Yeah,
then just never bring me that Jerry wants to win ever again, because you don't. And it's obvious. It's so clear. The one part, too, about Micah Parsons' agent. So the crux of the matter, if you're not following the absolute up to speed on this, we don't blame you. But basically that Jerry called Micah Parsons into a meeting in March and said, they were going to talk about leadership. Then Jerry starts to steer the conversation towards contract. And Micah's in there with no representation, but is talking to Jerry, and they start talking about numbers and stuff like that. And Jerry considered that a formal negotiation. And Micah after was like, no, we're just talking here. And then my agents come in, and they're the ones who start going through the details. And Jerry, according to Micah Parsons, since that March meeting, has not spoken to Micah's representation.
Old school.
Not a text message, not a phone call, not an email. Jerry said he doesn't know the guy's name, so he's made it personal there and trying to sideswipe the dude. It's just it's the worst way to do business, quite frankly. When
I was cutting deals in Arkansas to get land rights, a handshake would do, Maggie. This is old school, baby.
The problem with Jerry doing the old school thing is that there's no playbook really for that. I'm sure there is if you're into Arkansas oil or whatever.
I mean, it's had to work at some point, I think.
But there's a collective bargaining agreement. There's guidelines here. You can say this guy got this, so this guy's going to get this. I don't know if that's how it works in the oil business. I'm out of my depth there.
There is a story going around the internet where Tony Romo tells a story about how Jerry Jones and Bill Parcells, famously the biggest bully in NFL history, pulled him into a small room and said, you're going to sign this deal right now. And for some reason, Romo is like, nope, you got to talk to my agent. So this is not a new trick for Jerry.
Man, facts. They're like the mafia over there. I mean, that's...
But it's obviously not working because they made Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback by a mile. CD got a lot of money. So the mafia gets these deals done.
Yeah.
This is an incompetent version of the mafia.
Oh, boy. 888-710-4ISN.
Thornton Gonzalez, University of California. Okay?
888-710-4476. All right. So is this going to be any different? And is this the final straw here? It's just, at some point, it's just kind of gross. Isn't it? It doesn't have to be like this. It really doesn't. And I think that the part that's going to really get Micah Parsons upset is when he says, when I sign this deal, if something goes wrong with the player, the agent's nowhere to be found. You're basically implying that Micah Parsons is going to be a headache for you at some point. Or
Michael Parsons.
He's going to do something that's going to violate some kind of trust. Or that you don't trust him, that just having more money is going to make him more of what he already is, which is a motivated player, a leader on the team. You think the money's going to change him. Because that's what you're bringing up if you're going to talk about Des Bryant and how you negotiated this deal with Jay-Z all these years ago in a nightclub on a napkin, like some kind of movie. And then all of a sudden, Des is late for meetings and Jay-Z's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Jay-Z, who is, again, not a licensed NFL agent. So, and a cocktail napkin was involved. Yeah, old school, baby. You got to go with it, Maggie. Just run with it.
I know. It's like don't get in the way of a good story. 888-710-4ISN. All right, is this the final straw for you Cowboy fans? I don't know how you stay on board with this.
It's been a long time, Jerry. I do like that question. Is this the straw that broke the camel's back?
I think if I had told you came in here and started this with, Micah, come on home to Pennsylvania. Like, you want him. I would want him. Manny, EJ, all of our teams. We want this guy.
But only one team here is second in odds behind the Cowboys, and that team wears green, just so you know.
Well, what I'm saying is you didn't want Dak.
Yeah.
You didn't need CD.
Oh, you had to sign CD. What do you mean you didn't need CD?
No, I'm saying if you wanted for your team. Like,
oh, yeah. No. Nobody wanted Dak
Prescott.
CD, probably not the same.
Not the same. And then you have the third highest paid wide receiver, and you're wondering, is that value? And how is that the best way to do your salary cap? Derrick Henry was out there, and a lot of people said no. Like, there's some of these things are no-brainers, and some of them are not. Micah Parsons is the no-brainer.
Derrick Henry came out and said, please sign me, Cowboys, for $8 million. And there is no team with a bigger hole at running back. No. I won't let them have a pass on that one.
I'm just saying, every team would line up for Micah Parsons. They'd make it work. A rebuilding team, a team that's close to winning the Super Bowl. He works in every facet. Not all the guys who have been doing this with Jerry work like this, and that's why I think it is the final straw, because of the person of the position.
We'll take a break. I'm not 100% sure that there are skeptics about Micah Parsons' contract. You think this is a no-brainer? You pay him $42 million for 4 years?
Yep. I do it every day.
Yeah, I wonder how the rest of the NFL views it.
Don't go taking Jerry's side.
No, I'm just saying. I like Myles Garrett. I get that. I'm not sure. We could discuss this. Is Micah Parsons such a no-brainer at that size?
888-710-4ISN. Unpacking the Cowboys here. We've got a Shedeur Sanders update for you. We've got a Matthew Stafford update for you. Going to be honest, when I hear that a 36-year-old quarterback has to go see a back specialist, not feeling great about that. So we'll get to all of it. We got so much football for you. Luka signed a massive contract over the weekend. We've got Lakers stuff for you as well. It's Maggie Perloff Show.
Get your damn act together.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. It is silly season around this Micah Parsons contract holdout. The fact that people are talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and Washington Commanders being frontrunners to land Parsons in a trade that he requested makes no sense. Listen, I understand the Cowboys and Eagles have done a couple trades. The Cowboys are not going to send Micah Parsons to Washington or Philadelphia. That seems like an impossibility. I don't care how many draft picks. Can you imagine Jerry Jones having Micah Parsons being like, we can't reach a deal. I'm going to send you to our arch rivals and play you twice a year? That is not happening, Maggie. Yeah. So, in fact, I think a trade is unlikely. But those particular scenarios, which are getting a lot of ink this week, are totally outrageous.
You know, Perloff, there's a third team in that division as well.
Yeah, they're not getting him either.
They don't need him, actually.
So the funny part, though, is that the Cowboy or the Eagles actually sent the pick, though, to the Cowboys that ended up being Micah Parsons. That pick traded hands a lot of times.
To screw over the Giants.
Yeah, in many
It
ways.
was the Eagles were 12, the Giants and the Cowboys were at 10, and the Giants were at 11. And the Eagles trade up for Devontae Smith.
Hate the sport.
Yeah. And then the Giants traded out and became Justin Fields. That was a wonderful draft.
Thank you.
I just think that this is becoming insulting. If I'm Micah, it's not because the money's not there yet. I think it's insulting because of calling out, Micah for saying he could sign this and not be healthy. No kidding, Jerry. You have a football team here. Like, it's not a China doll shop. Like, these guys are getting hurt playing for you to try to win for you. Yes, they're going to get hurt, but unless there's something chronic or you think that there's something, really wrong. He gave Dak Prescott a bunch of money. He's been hurt so many times.
I'm perfectly happy.
That's insulting. And I think the other part, which is the most recent, with Jerry telling this story about doing Des Bryant's contract with Jay-Z, and Manny's playing Jay-Z back from break, to kind of tie it all together, is after he signs this, if something goes wrong, the agent's nowhere to be found. Like, what's going to go wrong with Micah Parsons? I thought he's the last guy that you have to worry about in terms of motivation, locker room, being on time, and being all in on trying to win.
Well, I mean, Micah Parsons did fall in the draft right because of character issues. That's.
But what's he done in your organization?
But I mean, but by the way, I said character issues. Like, I have no idea of actual any character issues, but I do think there was this notion that he was a kind of I don't know how you describe him in Penn State. He was a big mouth. Like, he would not shut up. And I feel like Jerry's met his match because you said Micah's got to be offended. I feel like Micah he likes to spar in this. It doesn't seem like he's not enjoying this. I'm sorry to say that. Like, Jerry has totally met his match. Micah's like, I'm not going to let you bully me in the press. I'm coming right back at you. I do think they're kind of a little bit of a match made in heaven. They both remind me of each other. They're both big personalities.
Let's go to Andreas, who's in Chicago. Andreas, as a Cowboy fan, what do you think of this?
As a lifelong Cowboys fan, I'm just getting tired of this back and forth with their star players last couple of years. I believe Micah Parsons, he cares about his money, so that's why he's at training camp. I'm not going to be too worried about it unless he starts missing game checks. Mm-hmm. That's when I'll start being worried about the whole situation. And Jerry bringing up Des Bryant and Jay-Z, old stuff from the past, I truly believe he might be in cognitive decline. Let your son, Will McClay, take over the team. Sit back and relax. That's all I have.
I know, Andreas, your lips to all Cowboy fans' ears, but just can't happen. Ego's too big. Won't allow it. Corey is in Dallas. Corey, you like Jerry's move here?
Yeah, good morning to y'all. I just wanted to say, Jerry Jones been paying his players for years. None of them produce. Micah Parsons don't produce in the fourth quarter when it comes down to it. You never seen them take over a game like Aaron Donald, Von Miller, the Marcus Ware used to do back in the day. He probably just like, if you want the money, go close out a game. You know how many games I don't watch where Micah Parsons, they're on defense and the quarterback just drive down the field and we end up losing. Like, it's no production from him in the fourth quarter.
Right, but Corey, I guess I would ask you this question. Do you think this is eventually going to get done?
Yeah, I feel like Jerry played this little game every year just to keep guys like you to keep talking about him. There's nothing else to talk about right now.
No, that's fine. Exactly. We're all on the same page there. But I guess then the question is, so it's not really about Micah Parsons' production, right? You're saying that you're not seeing enough of him out of Parsons, at the end of games and stuff like that. Well, then that's a reason for them to say we're not paying you. We all think they are going to pay him at some point, soon.
But I'm pretty sure that's in the back of his head too. At the same time, I feel like the only person that he should have paid out of Dak, CD, and Parsons is CD. He's the only one that produces. He's the only one that's on the field. If you go, I'm sure you guys don't watch the Cowboys a lot like I do down here in Dallas, but in the fourth quarter, he does not show up. He's no help at all on defense. I have not seen him carry the team or put the team on his back, not one time since he's been in the past 2 years, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, Corey, I guess that's more – it's funny because if you have an issue with Parsons not being the guy, then I don't think that's what Jerry's issue is, because I think Jerry's going to make him the highest paid pass rusher that we have in the NFL. Yeah. So, and I think, his numbers would tell you that that's not true. And I would also ask one other thing about Micah Parsons. You're asking him to take over games. How many of these games with the Cowboys have been close? When you're getting run all over by Green Bay in the playoffs, what's Micah Parsons going to do when you've staked your opponent to a 2-score, 3-score lead?
Right. I mean, but you just hit the issue. When you have Micah Parsons as your best player, what's the strategy? Just run him over. He's tiny. I mean, for his position. So I think if you were going to make the anti-Micah Parsons case, you'd be like, well, he's not Myles Garrett because he's not a gigantic rock against the run. I personally would love to have Micah Parsons. I disagree a little bit. I've seen him when he came back from injury, even though the season was kind of over last year, he was totally dominant. He just gets after the quarterback. You're right. He's not always in a position pass rush. By the way, the Cowboys have not been that. You're making it seem like they're the Browns or something, that they've had 20 straight losing seasons. He's been in plenty of games where he's been in a lead. I mean, tons and tons of games.
I think we're just talking about the high-profile ones, right? Like
You're talking about the playoff games.
The playoff games, but the high-profile losses.
But the problem is the Cowboys just get run over. Like teams, they're just not stout up the middle. So they tried to draft Mozzie Smith, and they've been trying to build that interior of the defense, and it's not working right now. And paying $42 million for Micah Parsons might not help. I mean, that's the problem. I don't think. He's younger, but Myles Garrett got 4 years, $160 million. I guarantee if you sign Micah Parsons for that, you're going to sit here in 2 years and say they overpaid Micah Parsons.
Well, according to Parsons, he went to the Cowboys 2 years ago and said, let's do something so that he actually would look like a bargain right now. He went to them last year and said, let's do something. That was part of the big Instagram post or Twitter post. We're getting to this point where he is being paid at the top of the market. That didn't have to happen, according to Parsons. He wanted to come to the table earlier, and he wouldn't have been the highest.
But how do you know what he was asking for?
Well, I mean, I can only go by
his agent, David Mulugeta, gets people paid. I do not think that he was far off the top of the market with his early request.
There's another part of this, too, about the agent. We've learned a lot more now because I won't bore you with the details here, but the NFL Players Association is an absolute disaster. They just hired someone new to be like an interim to run the Players Union.
I don't know his name.
But what came out during some of the investigation, if you will, into the Players Union is how much collusion happened with the owners after Deshaun Watson got that fully guaranteed contract. And it was the same agent who did it. And I think that's part of this, too. They don't like that agent. They don't like that Deshaun they should take it up with the Browns owner, not the agent. But I think they're trying to kind of freeze this guy a little bit.
Well, I don't know, because I think he's done a lot of deals since Deshaun. He keeps on getting guys paid. He's a really good agent.
But I think Jerry is one of those guys that's still holding on some resentment about that being a fully guaranteed contract. Maybe from the Browns owner and also from the agent side.
I think that might be an unproven stretch to say that Jerry's got an issue because of Deshaun Watson's contract. I have not seen evidence of that. It's a theory, but he doesn't know his name. Remember that, Maggie?
Sure. Baker is in Dallas. Baker, good morning.
Morning. Yeah, I'm against it. I don't think he's going to get signed. I don't think Micah wants to be signed anymore because of the crap that Jones has pulled. I think Jones finally messed around and found out, and Micah's done.
Interesting. So Baker, you're taking the trade request very seriously, literally, that it's not just some negotiating tool. Now, the problem with that is that if the Cowboys really wanted to play hardball, they could. They have him under contract this year, and then you can franchise tag him twice. So they could have him for the next 3 years with a fixed amount. So
yeah, it does feel like it's going to be hard to really have a divorce here. Feels like which is interesting too, because as this gets uglier, it's most likely they end up back together. Will there be any bad feelings that carry over?
I mean, they always say it's business. I think when it gets insulting, like to the level I think this has gotten insulting, it does feel more personal. Keep them coming, guys. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Was this the last straw with Cowboy fans? And is Micah worth all this money? Andrew Bogusch is with us. Good morning, Bogusch.
Guys, good morning. Headline sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Get a quote today at progressivecommercial.com.
My dog.
Some of us verbally shove Noah Lyles when he doesn't win Olympic gold by a large enough margin. Others physically shove Lyles after losing to him in the 200-meter final at the U.S. Track Championships yesterday.
Bednarik, as Noah Lyles tries to reel him in. Lyles slightly ahead and looks over and says, I'm still the world champion, and a little bit of a push there at the end as the rivalry comes into view.
That was the call on NBC as Lyles ran down Kenny Bednarik for the win, gave him a look as he crossed the finish line. Then Bednarik pushed Lyles as he crossed in front of him. That led to this exchange as poor Lewis Johnson tried to start a post-race interview.
If you got a problem, I expect a problem. That's all I'm saying. You know what? You're right. You're right. Let's talk after this.
The first voice was Bednarik. The second was Lyles. Bednarik then ignored an actual question from Johnson. All of this. The exact beef here is unclear, but maybe Lyles is a little bit of a weird dude and rubs some people the wrong way.
So obviously, I was delighted to see Noah Lyles win. It's a 200.
Were you?
Much harder race. No, I once said that Noah Lyles shouldn't be showboating when you win a race by 1/1,000,000th of a second. Got me in trouble with the track and field community.
And he had like tuberculosis while he was doing that.
He had COVID.
He did, okay.
He was a hero. Very triumphant. And this one was a resounding win. What can I say? I like a rivalry here in track. Haters.
They actually put track on TV this weekend?
World Championship.
Come on, Pearl.
What is it, 1978, and I missed the memo?
No, this is what happens when you covered the Olympics. You have to also broadcast the USA Championships.
Ugh.
It's like why there's wrestling on ESPN, college wrestling sometimes on ESPN.
I was watching the Ocho all weekend. I saw adults racing big wheels yesterday for about a half an hour, and I couldn't turn it off. I was not aware there was a track meet going on.
Again, I'm the one who gets the hate mail about Noah Lyles. She said he was watching adults race big wheel bikes. I love a track rivalry. Now, it felt like they were really trying to make up for it right away, like shake hands and,
I wouldn't go that far. There's something as they said, they're going to have a call about this. Like, there is something between them
Noah Lyles looks at him as basically staring him down through the finish line. Like, that's as aggressive a move as you can do in track.
Picture goes hard, though.
It's a cool picture.
I am looking at the picture now, and I wasn't aware that they raced between the Olympics, but this is awesome.
yeah, they just pick it up every 4 years.
You thought they only raced in the Olympics?
Well, Noah Lyles probably doesn't race that much. How often does he race?
He's racing yesterday.
I know.
He's got to race in big things. I don't think he's racing every weekend, but he races in the USA Championships, and I guess they both qualified for the World Championships, which are in a couple of weeks.
They're professionals. They got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You got to make that money.
Just show up every 4 years and see what happens.
Not a big Olympic sport guy over here, I'll admit.
Oh, is that right?
But you've been covering sports for decades. I just
Yeah,
figured you knew that there was like something in between the Olympics.
I've been covering real sports like football, basketball, hockey, baseball.
Oh, wow.
We always
like half of those sports aren't even Olympic sports.
Yeah, I know. I've been covering like sports that Americans care about, not every 4 years.
Well, I can show you some messages in my inbox that will tell you people very much care about this. And a lot of them call me some pretty bad names.
Yeah, come
Haterade
Olympics
is
time.
what you guys are drinking.
We used to, at SI.com, we had this, we had all the pages, and there was Olympic sports pages, and we drew straws. It's like, oh, man, who's going to have to cover this now?
Oh, man.
Sorry, I'm just the reality. This is really cool.
No,
it's
not really cool. No backtracking.
I'm just Perloff, and I am covering the Philadelphia Shot Put Championships.
I mean, if you were going to tell me like there was a camp fight in Jacksonville, then I'm in. But a push here?
I'm sure there was one of those too.
Sorry, not to poo-poo your story. This is a great track rivalry.
No, you can poo-poo my story all you want. I was literally surprised that you said the words, I didn't know they ran between the Olympics. It's a very targeted response.
Mr. Expert, do they have luge contests between Winter Olympics?
Yes, all of these things exist in between. That's how you get
Have you watched it?
No, that doesn't matter. I know they exist. I couldn't give you the time or place, but I know that people, you can't be in the Olympics without doing the event in the 4 years in between. That's how you get to the Olympics.
Well, I'm aware there are trials, but I'm sorry, I just don't spend the weekend watching bobsled.
I didn't watch it either. I only saw the fact that they fought after the fact. I'm not asking you even to watch it, but when I saw it happen, I didn't go, is it the Olympics? Oh, no. They're just,
is this by the way, this is the U.S. Nationals, right?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's every year, every 2 years or what, but that's what this is.
Are we already getting back to preparing for the Olympics?
Well, preparing, yes, but this is not Olympic trials.
Is Maggie going to get to go after this guy again in 3 years?
No.
That's what I want to know.
My beef with Noah Lyles is over.
And guys, we didn't even know that Maggie couldn't get out of the blocks when she made
it. Yeah, I know. That's actually great irony.
Yeah.
That is
she
actually
couldn't
hysterical.
even stand up to start a race.
Yeah,
and she's tearing down Noah Lyles.
Listen, I can barely do a brisk walk. If you guys didn't know that, I was unqualified to be criticizing. I'm just saying,
Go ahead.
You
what do you
only
think?
wait,
don't say it again.
Million.
Let him own all the hate today. Don't add on
She's
to
quadrupling down.
I gotta stand by it. Now the 200 meter totally different than you.
Okay.
There is, by the way, Maggie's favorite Google AI overview. There is a breakdown of her takedown of Noah Lyles on that. If you Google,
is there?
Yes.
How bad is it when it comes to fact checking? Like how wrong is it?
I mean, if you just search Maggie Gray Noah Lyles, you'll get your answer. It is pretty factual. I mean, it's straightforward. There's no opinion from AI, but it comes up. which I don't think always happens.
Man, if I ever meet this guy, I'm gonna have to apologize to him.
Oh, the look he'd give you.
Oh no, I'm sure he wouldn't even speak to me. Oh, they got the video and everything.
Oh, that's wonderful.
All right.
By the way,
this is pretty good.
Got some clicks.
He'll be 31 by the 2028 Olympics.
Who, Noah Lyles?
Yeah.
Damn.
You can't run at the highest level anymore then, can you?
When Usain Bolt win his last
Was
Olympics?
he? I don't
think
know.
you could be in your 30s. I think so.
That's crazy.
What
I
else
mean,
we
wide
got?
receivers fall off. You're saying he can still run the 100?
We got some breaking news late last night in the NFL, and it leaves us, the five of us, at least partially in charge of the NFLPA. The union, Maggie mentioned a second ago, has picked former SAG-AFTRA head David White as their interim executive director. And since we are all proud SAG-AFTRA members, we now get a vote in union matters, and the players get free DVDs to vote on the SAG Awards this winter.
So it's funny because I have never heard of this man. I've been part of this union, a dues-paying member. The dues are insane. I've been a dues-paying member of this union for a long, long time. And the only two people I thought were ever the head of the union was the woman from 90210. Andrea from 90210, and the nanny, Fran Drescher.
Right.
I don't know
but
anyone else.
I've
never heard of this guy.
Is there an actor who's the head of it and then a real person who runs it?
I think it's kind of like the players union where you have a player
Right,
rep who's
right.
the face, and then you have the real people behind the scenes. So, but I've only known the actors who have been the faces. So it was Andrea from 90210 and Fran Drescher.
Every time we got an email from Andrea, I thought it might have been just for me. I was hoping. It was like,
we wish, brother.
I knew you loved 90210. Would you like to meet Jenny Garth?
So you only wanted the email from Andrea to try to meet someone else?
Yeah.
That's the head of union, you animal.
Not anymore.
That was the head of the union, you animal.
And then Fran Drescher used to leave mass voicemails about voting matters. That was unnecessary. No one needed that.
Well, I don't even know if they're a good union, to be honest.
Nice.
For us, the after part of it, I'm not sure about.
No clue.
Feels like the actors are taken care of.
Good for them.
Mm.
We've got nothing.
We went to the wrong field. I mean, you're sitting actually next to an actor, so we shouldn't be talking.
That is
true.
Trust me, I've had my issues because when I got here, I had to sign up for SAG because I was never in that before. And then they're like, you have to pay like you're an actor because you get dues from these movies that Dan Patrick got me into as an extra. So all of a sudden, I'm paying a higher rate than Maggie because I get occasional checks.
Like $1.64?
No, I've said this before. For the movie Week of, which is a Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, I get big checks, like triple digits.
I've never heard of that movie. Week of?
Yeah, so Adam Sandler's daughter marries Chris Rock's son or vice versa. You guys have never heard of that?
No.
Well, the check is real, I'll tell you that much.
Paid for my Phillies hat.
I was in the movie for a millisecond because it rained that day and all the Danettes got cut out of the scene.
So get the checks, though.
Yeah, so anyway, they make me pay. There's a higher rate for actors than broadcasters, and I have to pay both.
Oof. Brutal.
And I called Fran. And I'm like, Fran.
Andrea, Fran, anyone out there? Bogusch, that's where we'll have to leave it. Thank you. Coming up, we had some big news over the weekend. Luka Doncic signing a massive contract with the Lakers. What does it mean for LeBron? Do that next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Down in the Rockies where the air runs thin, a showdown was brewing and the stakes ran big. Ryan Rube walked tall with a confident grin, but Daly showed up with a mean backspin. He came out swinging with a fire in his soul. 4 hands like thunder, had one simple goal: to take that crown, to claim his run. And when the dust cleared, he was #1. Now Rackets, raise up your glass to the viewer named Daly, who kicked Maker class 6-2-6-3. Yeah, he made it look fun. Now he's wearing the crown, the new #1. But even with glory and pride in his name. Some things on this show, well, they just never change. Shit still won't stream, no matter the plea. And Pilates out sick again mysteriously. Yeah. From Maggie's hot takes the Perloff's hot picks. They know talent when they see it. Bailey's got the tricks. He ain't just a caller, he's a courtside star, climbing that ladder like a Nashville guitar. Now Ryan Roof's somewhere just licking his wounds, while Bailey's the king of those Colorado dunes. He's the buzz of the bracket, the ace of the day, while Peter Bellotti ghosted again by the way. So raise up your rackets, raise up your glass to Daly the legend, who played with some sass. 6'2", 6'3", man, he got the job done. Now he's wearing the crown, the new #1, but still no YouTube, no ship in sight. And Bellotti's alarm clock lost yet another fight. They say tennis is lonely, but Daly's got fans, from WFAN all the way to the stands. Maggie's got chills, and Perloff's impressed, even callers agree. Daly's the best, so here's to the king of the Rocky Court. He don't just talk, he brings a sport. With a flick of the wrist and a confident strut, he left Ryan behind, clean and a rut. Still no shit stream, still no Pete's face, but Daly just served and won the whole place. Hey, Daly, long live the new #1. Let's just hope Peter clocks it someday. Thank you, Bill. Long live the new #1. Let's just hope Peter clocks in someday.
One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Luka could have signed at literally 12:01, but they decided to wait until about 9:30 in the morning. That happened on Saturday. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray and Perloff will get back to the Cowboys in a moment, but Luka signs the 3-year max extension, $165 million deal. Now, it's basically a 2-year deal with a player option is the third, so I would imagine he will opt out of that and then sign an even richer deal coming up in a couple of years, Pearl. He's going to get paid a ton of money. But here's the question I have for you.
Yeah.
Number one, this is not shocking that Luka signed this extension. What I'm most surprised or wondering about is how long is he going to play with LeBron James? We were talking about LeBron's sort of weird, passive-aggressive, Rich Paul coming out and, saying that they know the Lakers are thinking about the future, but LeBron still wants to win now. We speculated that LeBron could get traded or be gone this season. Does he get a whole season with Luka? Does LeBron sign on for more years with the Lakers to actually make this like a true partnership? Or is this now we've turned the page, it's in the Luka era, and LeBron's an afterthought?
He has to be an afterthought. It's called human nature, the longevity. LeBron's 40. How many years do you think he's going to be able to do this?
I don't know. I mean, he's been defying any expectations for how long he's going to play. Like 3 years ago that happened. He's still second team All-NBA, and I don't think that's symbolic. He really was playing that well to earn that distinction.
But it's got to go down. So I think this 1 year, $52 million, it feels like the last year in LA to me. I think this is it. They kind of go for it with what they have, and then both sides amicably part.
Okay, but is that even the best thing for LeBron to do? Like, he set this up so he could play with Anthony Davis for years. They did win a title together. It's a bubble title, so we can talk about how, what if that means more, means less, whatever. But he's actually playing with somebody who is in his prime, maybe better than he is. Why wouldn't you want to attach yourself to that? Like, why do we think that LeBron wants to leave so fast to become the alpha again when he's already shown you, hey, as I'm getting older, I need a lot of help?
I don't think because I think this is going to be driven by the Lakers side, and I don't think they want to put real money into a 42-year-old LeBron James. I think they're really moved on. I think it's the Luka era full on in LA, and I think LeBron is an afterthought at this point.
I wonder if that's smart though.
Well,
right?
how is it? How would it not be smart?
Well, because he's going to be a big part of what they do. Now, they've made some upgrades this offseason, certainly. They had to get better in the roster in terms of defense. They have Marcus Smart now, maybe Ayton as a little more of a rim protector, whatever. But, LeBron's going to be a big part of this. If it can't just be all Luka and Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt. LeBron's going to have a huge role on this team.
On this team. But in 2027, the go for a year for the Lakers, like there ain't going to be no LeBron. This is the Lakers. This is purple and gold. Like they have to build a dynasty here. And I think they're actually making moves. Every move now is about the future. Every single move that they make is about how do we build a champion around Luka Doncic.
Okay, but now I know the Lakers have sold, but they are also a team that has overpaid their legends at the end as sort of like a thank you for your service.
I think that almost is not this year exactly because they had no choice, but I don't think they're going to do another big deal, a thank you deal, because you have these new owners who are kind of killers, right? Mark Walter and his group. So I think that they're going to be very, very focused here on what the task at hand. The task at hand is not having this symbolic year like Kobe had.
Are you reading into the fact that apparently LeBron did FaceTime Luka? He was not at the press conference. There were like 6 or 7 other Laker teammates who were there. LeBron wasn't there. According to Mark Stein, FaceTimed Luka to say congratulations, but posted nothing on social. As far as I checked his Instagram, Twitter. There's nothing there of like, hey, congrats, dude.
Yeah.
Anyone reading into that? LeBron, Mr. Public, sending messages through the media guy.
I don't read anything to it. EJ, you see something?
I don't read anything into it, but I wouldn't have expected him to do that. I think
to post something.
Yeah, no. I think it's okay. I think it's fair to say, of course, he wouldn't post something about the guy that's replacing him, but the fact that he FaceTimed him shows that there is no ill will. It's like a weird middle game there. Like he posted a long post for some guy who got hired by the Cleveland Cavaliers to be like their general manager or assistant GM. Remember, he posted like oh my God, this is so amazing. Congratulations, dude. So like, yes, if he really wanted to put a lot on this, he would have probably said, wow, big congrats to Luka. He's not going to do that because he knows the writing on the wall. But I think that the fact that he reached out to him showed me there's no like beef.
I don't think there's beef, but like, isn't there a passing of the I don't know.
LeBron has said 20 times there's no beef with Luka. You guys don't.
No, it's about the
don't
Lakers.
We believe him? Yeah, I know. Right. It's LeBron's issues are with the Lakers. I think he is saying Luka's not part of this. I love playing with Luka, but the reality is the Lakers are going to be driving the ship here.
No, they are, but I'm saying if you don't have any beef with Luka, then that's more reason to post something. And the only reason why I bring this up, and people can say, oh, you're being stupid and you're doing these like details. This is LeBron's world. I've only been conditioned to react to him over the last 20 years. He's the one who's on social. He's the one who's sending messages through the media. Like, this is not us like trying to read tea leaves. This is LeBron's like whole game is what do you do off the court to try to send a message?
I mean, everybody kind of wants to get LeBron to Dallas right now. Isn't that feels like the temperature in the internet to me, that this Lakers thing just doesn't fit. He does not fit their plans.
LeBron James.
Coming up, is Jerry Jones the most unlikable person in sports? 888-710-4ISN. You tell us.
Why?
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining.
Only the Daily's got fans. Out in Colorado, skies painted blue. Daily laced up, got something to prove. Ryan Rube was talking that big time game, but left that court with nothing but shame. 6'2", 6'3", it was quick, it was clean. Daily played like he was born on that green. Now he's sitting on top of that local chart, number one with the champion's heart. Yeah, so raise up a toast, give that man his due. Daily's the king, and the serve was true. He crushed that match like a back row song and left Rube wondering what went wrong. But even with Daly now claiming the crown, the tech god still got shit beating him down. He's staring at wires and praying for grace, cause his TriCaster's still locked in outer space. Maggie said that's how legends are born, while Perloff dropped stats on a Monday morn. But poor old Chef's still fighting the beast. That TriCaster's fried like a Thanksgiving feast. Buttons are blinking, the screen's gone black. He rebooted twice, but it won't come back. And while YouTube dreams fade into the mist, Peter Bellotti still somehow missed. Yeah, so hats off to Daly, the pride of the game. He brought that heat, now they all know his name. From the baseline burn to the net front dash, he turned that court into a pile of ash. But Shed's in a bunker with no tech in sight, just muttering why me into the night. And people he's missing like socks in the wash. This place is a circus, and Daly's the boss. They say heroes rise, and legends stay, and TriCasters break in the dumbest ways. But glory shines where the tennis ball flies, and Daly's got that fire in his eyes. So here's to the caller who became the champ, while she's still stuck in that dark live stream camp. No YouTube today or tomorrow, who knows? The text from 2008, so it goes. Belotti's a ghost, ships curse on machines, but Daly just ripped through the tennis scene. Hey! I'm living number one. Daily. And somebody please fix ship's TriCaster. Maggie said that he'd please fix ship's TriCaster. Hey!
One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining.
I'm out here, and Cap I think you're
30
great.
seconds remaining.
This is Daly. I'm out here. I'm sorry, Andrew Kaplan. I got a little out of control.
Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Micah Parsons requested trade from the Cowboys, and whether you think that Parsons is in the wrong or Jerry Jones, who fired back at Parsons, is in the wrong, Pearl, I think I can speak for everybody to say we are sick of this. We are sick of all these protracted Cowboy holdouts. Like, it happens. We see it happening in Washington. Terry McLaurin, Myles Garrett requested a trade. It lasted about 6 weeks, that trade request in the offseason. Then he got paid. But this is over and over and over again. And I think everyone's just had it and is fed up with the circus.
I don't know. I feel like we're going to do it again next offseason, too.
Who else is on the roster?
I don't know who steps up for the Cowboys. We're sick of it, but we can't help but go back. I understand what you're saying.
No, somehow Dak Prescott will be available for some other contract extension. We'll do this all again. But it's kind of led us to ask the question, is Jerry Jones the most unlikable person in sports? And
I'm not asking that question, by the way.
Okay.
I find that kind of insulting.
Here we go. Listen, are there people who may be dealing with more serious issues? Yes. I mean, are there domestic violence issues out there, real world issues? But if we're just talking about a sports conversation, how unlikable is Jerry Jones now? Because I think people are over this, right? Over it. Don't want to, see him in front of the microphone. I've always said if you could give him the option, you can win a Super Bowl, but you'll never be able to talk to the media ever again. I think he would not go for the Super Bowl. I've said that for years about Jerry Jones. And I just think people are over it, and it's turned into being unlikable. No one's understanding his metaphors. Or
what?
Very
no
few.
One's understanding them now? We talked about circumcising a mosquito. That was 12 years ago.
That one, weirdly, I get. This stuff I don't. And it's gotten pretty insulting, I think, to Micah Parsons, where, Jerry's talking about, listen, I don't even know if he's going to be healthy enough to play when he, did get injured, but only playing football for your team to make you money. And, he doesn't have anything chronic as far as we know. There's no lingering issues. And then bringing up Des Bryant, which he did recently, saying he was negotiating Des Bryant's contract with Jay-Z, the rapper. And, Jay-Z promised him that Des Bryant would be on time for every meeting. Yeah. And then when Des was late, then Jay-Z was nowhere to be found. Why are you implying that Micah Parsons is going to be a problem here? I think it's gotten insulting.
That's a sick flex, by the way, bringing Jay-Z into this story by Jerry Jones. I think that there's just too much water under the bridge to say that any of this is going to change the overall legacy of Jerry Jones. I mean, he's about to turn 83 this October. I don't think that he can really affect everything the way you do. Like, all of a sudden now we're tired of this?
Yeah.
What about the last 30 years?
Well, I mean, I think that you could say it all builds. It all builds. And at some point, there's just like everyone's got their breaking point. And you could have thought it was cute before or just ignored it. But it's getting to the point now where I think everyone believes that Micah Parsons should have already been paid. And drawing it out doesn't get you any closer to winning.
But isn't this the same scenario as Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb? That my only argument would be like, this is typical Jerry. So why is this one causing all these problems? Because he mentions celebrities in it?
No, I think there's a couple things. One, I think the fact that they did want to get that Micah, according to Micah, did want to get this done earlier, and that Jerry wouldn't do it. So now they're going to be paying a premium, the highest paid non-quarterback contract, most likely, when you probably could have gotten this done for a lot more reasonable number and reallocate resources other places. So it's just bad team building is number one.
Same as
Dak, yeah.
Same as CD, right?
Same as CD. And it's like, why aren't you learning from any of these air quotes mistakes? How do you not even look at them as mistakes? And I think there was a thought out in the public, Dak Prescott, more valuable to the Cowboys than anyone else. CeeDee Lamb, more valuable to the Cowboys than anyone else. Micah Parsons has value. And I think 31 other teams would line up to give him a huge contract.
Oh, you don't think that about CD?
I think there's a question about whether wide receivers, how worth it they are.
Well, now the market is blown up for wide receivers. Terry McLaurin, who's 30, wants CD Lamb money. CD Lamb's contract looks fine, by the way. There's nothing that ended up being probably a totally decent deal.
Yeah, they didn't have to be the highest paid. This one is going to be the highest paid. Dak Prescott is the highest paid. But as far as like
Dak, you could criticize. I don't think you can criticize. But then again, okay, this is bad deals. But you started off the segment by saying the most disliked owner.
Yeah,
maybe he's
unlikable.
Maybe he's not a genius at this, but does that make him terribly unlikable?
Yeah.
Like when I think of unlikable owners, my mind goes to Dan Snyder.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I just think that Jerry is just sort of a combination of, old school, kind of laughable. Like, I feel like he's he's just sort of this different character. He's a character more than unlikable. That's how I view him. I don't view him as really having bad intent here. I think he's sort of just kind of playing owner here in the way that only Jerry Jones can.
Okay, but bad intent, it's not helping your team because you keep paying at the high peak of the market when maybe you didn't need to. And I didn't say most unlikable owner. Unlikable person. There's an idea about this sometimes where it's like, what's the line? EJ, you'll know better than I will. From, I think it's from Batman. It's like either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
Bam.
I don't think anyone thinks this is cute anymore. I don't think that anyone thinks Jerry's the real mastermind anymore. He's been exposed.
But
He's not great when it comes to this. Can be great at striking oil. Phenomenal. And you turn the Cowboys into something, such a billion-dollar industry. Amazing. Does not mean you're good at the football side.
Right, but here's the problem, though. There are definitely worse owners on the football side, without a doubt.
Sure, but I'm talking about he puts himself front and center. He's the one. Nobody is hunting him down at his private golf course or something or a club and saying, Jerry, we're begging you. We need a comment. He's out there every day. So he sets himself up to be unlikable.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels a little harsh. Like he's, you're dunking on Jerry Jones now. It's like he's been driving that Cowboys bus around. Unlikable doesn't really fit for me. It feels like, was he unlikable when like those risque photos came out? Like it's just we're just used to him. It's been decades of Jerry Jones. I don't know why all of a sudden he's become like this villain. He's always sort of Jerry. He's just unique in his own right. None of this really bothers me that much. And also, too, because on the football side, we know there are worse owners. We know there's Woody Johnson. We know David Tepper's been a disaster in Carolina. We know about Mike Brown not paying anyone in Cincinnati. We know about Jimmy Haslam in Cleveland. Like, you look at any NFLPA grade or something, and Jerry is definitely middle of the pack at worst.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. I think he is one of the most unlikable and disliked people because the act is so thin at this point, and you have nothing to back it up. People hate LeBron James. Think about this, right? People hate LeBron James.
Why?
They think he's so annoying. They think he's so passive-aggressive. We've criticized him on the show. At least that guy won recently. I mean, it was 2020, but he's still producing. There are people who rub the public the wrong way. Jerry, it used to get by on the fact that you were the presiding over a dynasty. That was so long ago. Like, your bravado does not match the results. And spare me with the regular season. The bravado does not match the results. And so I think that leads people to be unlikable.
Yeah, I don't think that's really Jerry's problem. I think that you're going to miss him when he's gone because this is a rare, we only get a couple more years of this, and I'm going to enjoy it personally.
Yeah, but see, if the Cowboys really are America's team, then why do they need Jerry? If they were that it team in the 70s, along with the Steelers, that it team in the 90s, along with the, San Francisco. But you know what I mean? They're that team in those dynasties. Why do they need Jerry? Why do they need him to be out in public? Like, if you are America's team and you have this lineage of generation after generation and the high, TV ratings and all of that, then you don't need Jerry out there. You should just be able to exist off the football alone. But they can't because Jerry
he owns a team.
Well, and he started to tank the team.
I mean, listen, you sure they're not going to be okay this year?
You want to go by Vegas? They're not expected to be a playoff team.
Starting the tank. By the way, it's so funny.
14 teams out of 32 make the playoffs, they're not expected to be a playoff team.
I love
That's
this.
mid.
Starting to tank the team. They had a run where they were bad for about 14 years.
Yeah.
And now they're actually much in a better era, arguably, and he's starting to tank the team. But all that doesn't make him necessarily unlikable. Like, what is it that makes, in your opinion, makes him so unlikable to everybody?
I think everyone's sick of this. Like, you can't be out here acting like the smartest person alive or in sports when you aren't winning. You know, like Howie Roseman could come out here and say, I think I've mastered this thing, you guys. Like, I think I got a pretty good handle on this. You know, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Brett Veach, they can come out and say, you know, I think we got a pretty good idea of how to win these things. Jerry Jones does not belong in that conversation. That's unlikable when you keep acting like you do. You keep acting like you have all of this figured out. We're going to wait for more leaves to fall. We want to see more of this, more of that. Meanwhile, the league's lapping you. You're not even second in your own division now. You got the Eagles. You've got the Commanders to deal with. We'll see what happens with the Giants. But
he's 43-25 over his last 4 seasons.
And what in the playoffs?
Nothing, but still, I mean, they're way, way, way worse owners and teams. And also, by the way, like somebody is making really good draft picks there.
Okay, let that person handle more.
Well, how do you know it's not him? Because you're blaming him for every single other thing that happens under the team. So only the bad things are on Jerry and the good things are someone else?
He claims that he's the one who does the big contracts. He goes, other people handle the other stuff. I'm the one who does the big contracts. And those are always the ones that are the messiest. He's telling you. He's telling you.
By the way,
the reason why I don't think he's making the draft picks, that's what he said. That the reason why I don't think he's making the draft picks is because of the anecdote we all know about Johnny Manziel and how they basically had to lock him in a closet so that they didn't draft Johnny, who ended up being one of the biggest flameouts in the NFL.
But again, why does all this is right? I totally agree that he's making some mistakes with the contracts, but why does that necessarily? You just think that he's still presenting himself as this football genius? Is that what bothers you?
Yes.
But come on, nobody takes that seriously. Not a single person is like, oh well, Jerry thinks he's this genius. I think most people are kind of giggling with these stories, including Jerry. I think Jerry has a bit of a wink and a nod here. He kind of knows. I mean, you've been around the Cowboys. Like, he is saying these things are not meant to be taken as gospel.
Well, then maybe he's not the best steward for the highest profile franchise in the biggest sport we have.
I think you're about 20 years too late on this take.
Well, I guess maybe I am, but it's like if you're unserious, then you shouldn't also enjoy this elevated perch. You're not non-serious franchise.
Yeah, I mean, again, a little bit late to the party here. I just think that all of a sudden,
took me a minute.
Now at 83, we're coming after Jerry?
Yeah. Well, I've been coming after him
I think he was
for
a
years.
lot more, actually, honestly. To be honest, he probably was a lot more potent making mistakes way back when. Now, at least he's got a lot of help around him. I think if you're worried about Jerry, I think there's light at the end of the tunnel because Jerry obviously is ceding a lot of control. I think Steven actually has a ton of control now. It's interesting how Micah talked a lot about Steven.
He said he made the trade request to Steven.
I honestly, it reminds me a little of Tony Soprano. I rewatched The Sopranos this weekend. I have no idea. But Tony in the first season puts Junior Soprano at the head of the family, so the FBI focuses on him when he's secretly making the moves. I feel like there's definitely some of that going on with the Cowboys. Let's throw Jerry out there to say all these things, get people off the trail for what's really going on, because I just don't think this dynamic is exactly as we all think it is. Like, Jerry's not necessarily making these moves alone.
Is Jerry Jones the most unlikable person in sports? EJ, you want to weigh in?
I mean, for me, it's always going to be Aaron Rodgers, but Jerry Jones is definitely on that Mount Rushmore, so to speak, when it comes to the most unlikable figures. I think because we don't like folks who are brash and braggadocious and don't back it up is the last part.
Okay.
No, we love Deion when he's prime time.
Yeah, when Deion high steps in the good Georgia Dome and says, this is my house, we're like, you know what? It is his house because he just dominated. But when you have a guy who's talking about how, we're the Cowboys and, we're America's team and all this stuff, and then you're this genius, but then you can't manage your way out of a paper bag, you just look like a fool. And you look like you're wasting everybody's time. That's my issue.
Yeah.
So I feel like following Jerry Jones is a waste of my time because nothing's going to get done that's going to be of any consequence. This contract situation is all a farce. He's going to get signed, a week before, the day before a game, whatever the situation is going to be. Jerry's doing this because he thinks this is for attention. And I don't like people who want to do things for attention. I don't even like my dog when she does things for attention, let alone I'm not like an 83-year-old man who's doing stuff for my attention. Get out of here.
The irony is that you love professional wrestling, which is all about attention, but everyone knows what that is. I think that Jerry is taking shades of that, right? He is trying to make this all theater, but the problem is that the people who you're negotiating with keep getting over on you. Like, when these high-profile negotiations are happening, spot the W. You overpaid Prescott. Maybe CeeDee Lamb was right where he should be. All right, but he stayed away from the team and then was a little rough out of the gates. Now this with Micah. Like, you are not winning.
I just think you guys are using "we" a little liberally. I think you guys find him completely unlikable. I think there's I think there are a lot of people who are closer to neutral on Jerry.
Poll question.
In the sense that, the most unlikable person in sports just seems like a crazy question for Jerry Jones because he's kind of that guy, he's Jerry Jones. He doesn't follow. I almost think he's in a different category as a character of sports. So you don't hate the character of sports. Like, for example, it's almost like hating the Philly Fanatic. I'm just trying to think he's definitely
it's like a mascot.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's somewhat symbolic at this point. I mean,
he's saying no. He's saying that he's in there. He won't. He had that meeting with Micah Parsons in March.
Yeah,
he's saying that that meant something. That meant a negotiation. Like, he's the one who's saying, I do the big contracts.
Trust me, Perloff, if the Philly Fanatic was causing Bryce Harper to hold out, you would hate the Philly Fanatic. I don't care how many tongues and weird belly rubs he does.
Oh my goodness.
I was trying to think of a guy like this. I just don't think. I think it's if you dislike Jerry Jones, you really should have disliked him 25 years ago or 1994. No, I don't think so. I don't think Jerry's been hated.
It's also the further you get away from the winning,
But I mean, it's 30 years. What about 15 years ago? Wasn't that far enough?
Yeah, it was. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. I think it started in earnest, when he wouldn't fire Jason Garrett and stayed on with Jason Garrett after 8-8 season, and it was just the status quo.
That was 26 years after the title.
I understand.
And let me ask you this. The game's over, and Jerry's walking in the concourse. Who is rushing to him? Every single person that has a tape recorder wants to hear Jerry Jones talk.
Well, because they think it'll get some clicks. I also think people want selfies and stuff with him because there's something about celebrity.
Yeah, he's Jerry Jones.
Likable and not likable. People still ask OJ for selfies. I mean, people are stupid, So
I don't know. I mean, Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame. I think you guys are really kind of taking him lightly. Wait till this documentary comes out.
Oh, God. I forgot about that. When is that? That's the 12th or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, he's Jerry Jones. He's an American icon in a way.
I agree with that. I think you'd be an icon and still be unlikable. I just feel to me, look, I'm a big Rick Ross fan, right? So I love guys who are the boss.
Yeah.
People who are, I'm a big businessman, I'm a big mogul. Jay-Z, again, another person, presents himself as a big mogul. But when you see those folks actually pull off big moves and pull off these incredible, it's something to look aspirational to sometimes. You're like, oh, wow, look, this guy really is a boss. Look what all these strings he's able to pull. I mean, Jerry Jones is being puppeteer, like a puppet master in all these negotiations. He doesn't look like a boss to me.
Yeah.
He looks like a fool. He looks like a guy who doesn't know what he's doing, and he's past his prime, and these guys are running circles around him.
Tua Tagovailoa.
888-710-4ISN. Was that Tracy Morgan?
That was Rick Ross.
Oh, I'm sorry. 888-710. That sounded like Tracy Morgan to me. 888-710-4476. Jerry Jones, the most unlikable person in sports. You let us know. We just got a little window into Perloff with no people at the house. You're solo right now because your family has gone on vacation without you.
It was
nice.
Totally annoying because I had to put them on a plane at 3 a.m. after I was up till 12:30 at night on Saturday night. It was a disaster.
Nice.
Did you sleep at all?
No, I slept after they left. I put them
Yeah.
on a plane. No, I put them on an Uber to the plane, but no, I got really disrupted. Kind of like you do, EJ. My sleep got destroyed this weekend. It wasn't good.
Is that when you were watching The Sopranos 3 a.m. style?
That's
tough.
Yeah, no. Actually, that was Sunday. I was looking for some sports, and it was dry. It was really
You could have been
dry.
watching track and field.
You didn't watch Fever Storm? No,
I
Caitlin
actually-
Clark? I did.
I didn't watch Fever Storm. I watched a little bit. The Liberty played, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Sun.
The Braves was going crazy.
And they got some all-star who came back from somewhere else.
Jonquil Jones?
No. Anyway, I did a WNBA deep dive. I was desperate for TV. I actually had to go back to the spread. What did you watch, Maggie?
I told you guys, I finally watched this documentary on Netflix about the woman who disappeared on the cruise ship. Everyone, please watch it so we can talk about it.
Yeah, Maggie's begging us to watch it.
Well, what streaming service?
It's on Netflix.
Oh.
And this is not even an ad for Netflix. I just want to talk about it with other people because my husband and I have now talked about it. Like we've discussed every lead, and now I got to talk about my theories with other people.
That leads me to a question. I think an important question because I was doing this with my friends this weekend. 'Cause I was hanging out with my friends before I saw you at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Is it annoying when someone is like demanding you watch or read something just so they can talk to you about it?
Yes.
Because
Uh-oh.
I became that person reading the Ultimate Comics for Marvel, and now you're becoming that person
Yes.
with the Netflix doc. Like, do you find that person annoying?
I mean, I see I'm being annoying. I can feel it in myself. I'm being annoying, but I don't bring these things to you guys all the time.
No,
so
I
don't think I'm the person who cried wolf.
No, I don't think you're annoying about this at all.
But guys,
Yeah.
where is this woman?
If
Oh,
this
God.
sucks, I'm gonna be mad at you for.
But
like,
also,
It's not going to suck.
I do feel like you seem so affected by this. Like, do you not watch Dateline every week? Do you not watch 700?
No.
Like,
I don't
do you
do
know
the-
how this game
yeah.
works, by the way?
I don't do like the woman missing. I don't
What?
love to
That's
play into that stuff because
75% of Netflix is this woman is missing.
I know, and I usually reject it because I don't love the. It feels ghoulish at times. You know,
Most of the time she returns and it was her fault in these Netflix documentaries.
no,
it's
most
a
of
Gone
the time
Girl
the
thing.
husband did it.
There's a lot of Gone Girl
What are you
documentaries
trying
on
to say
Netflix.
there, Mag?
I'm saying if my husband asked me to go to Grenada, I'm not going. No, I'm just kidding.
By the way, the Liberty added Emma Meeseman out of nowhere, and
Oh,
she's
yes, that's right.
awesome. And I was like, what is going on with Liberty? But again, it was a hard sports weekend. I ended up watching mostly the NFL Network just interviews guys at training camp.
Yeah.
And everyone's like so stoked right now. There's a lot of positive energy. So I ended up doing that. But it was not this great experience being home alone.
You took in the Ocho, right?
I did do some Ocho,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, that was locked in all weekend.
There was a lot of cornhole on this weekend. It got a little boring.
Well, you missed some of the good stuff. I saw some T-Rexes racing.
You know, one thing about cornhole on TV, they show the throw, but then they show on a different box the actual end of the throw.
landing.
So they don't have a one shot on the throw. So it's a little bit of a frustrating TV experience. It's right up there for me.
They need some innovation. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin, the bromance that none of us knew we needed. Got some new details about it. Next, M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Gotta be a decent hotel I can book.
Oh, I thought we talked about this.
I told you I can handle it. Let me get the phone.
Dr. Cornish, Augusta Plaza.
We can cancel that. Thanks for all your help. I don't sound like that. You do a little.
You're listening to Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Oh, okay. Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. That was one of the movies that I starred in called The Week Of with Adam Sandler and Chris Rock. Really funny movie, actually. Chris Rock and Adam Sandler are parents of bride and groom to be, and it's a wedding, and it's trying to integrate a black family and a white family.
Yeah.
It's really cute. I don't know why it never gets played. I am featured extra. I'm walking across a parking lot before a softball game.
And you still get checks from this.
Yes.
Big ones.
And when I triple digits.
Without the decimal point.
IMDb has you as baseball fan in parking lot.
Yes. Accurate.
Andrew J. Perloff.
Yeah. And,
starring role.
But it was really cool for me because I got to be directed by one of my huge heroes, Robert Smigel, who triumphed the Comedy Dog. You might know him, very famous Saturday Night Live writer. And when I say directed by, he said, All right, boys. Sorry it rained and you can't do your shot. Why don't you walk across this parking lot and we'll get a drone shot of you and maybe use it. That was the extent of the direction.
That's problem solving right there.
But yeah, I mean, listen, have you guys seen the numbers on Happy Gilmore 2? So whatever Sandler's doing for Netflix, it is working. It is just everybody on earth has seen this movie. And it's actually grown on me a lot because I went back and watched the Dan Patrick scenes again. Dan is transformed. Like, my friend is like, was that Dan? And I'm like, the second you hear his voice, you know it's him, but it was awesome.
I, too, watched it twice.
Yeah.
You already seen it twice. So I need to watch it, but I got caught up in this documentary about a woman who disappeared off of a cruise ship. And I'm now trying to convince everyone else on the show to watch this simply so that I can talk about it with them, with all of you, because I've got theories and I need to workshop them on someone, not my husband, because he's already heard them all now.
Feels like kind of like the Jerry Jones take you had last segment. You're late to the party on this one. Like, you know that Netflix has been doing this for 5 years and everyone on earth has been watching all of these.
But I've only asked you for 3 episodes, 45 minutes each. Richard is in Kentucky. Richard, were you also watching this one about the woman who disappeared from the cruise ship?
Yeah, my wife and I actually watched it together and stuff. She actually watches a lot of crime stuff, so I end up watching bits and pieces as she has them.
Yeah, this one's nuts, right?
Yes, it is and stuff. So I think that she's actually still alive and just been on the island somewhere and stuff, even if the guy was still investigated at first, the one that lived next door to her on the cruise ship, even though he's been, cleared of everything.
Oh, that guy was creepy. Richard, we're going to leave it there. I don't want to spoil it for the rest of the crew because then they're definitely not going to watch it.
You got that right.
See, even Richard had to call into a national radio show just to float some theories that he thinks that the guy in the cabin next door still had something to do with it. You guys, I'm telling you.
Maggie, you were overselling this one. I honestly
just called in.
Yeah, but there's another one coming next week. This has been going on forever. Do you not watch murder documentaries on Netflix?
I do not, because here's the thing that's different, though. With a lot of these documentaries, we already know that the person is sadly deceased. Oh. And then you're trying to put back the pieces. Oh, no?
There's a million with this exact same plot.
Okay.
Where the woman disappears and it's like, oh, maybe she's still alive living another life. Or the husband disappears. And this happens all the time on Dateline. It happens like every other month.
So one other thing about this, I know we have a lot more to get to, is I guess I was not aware of the inherent dangers of cruises.
Oh, well, that I'm an expert on.
Right?
Yeah, because if you fall off one of those boats, they can't save you. You're basically, most of the time, you're dead.
Well, just the
Doesn't
idea
that
that
apply
you're
for every boat? They just saved the guy who we thought let his daughter fall over the edge.
Yeah, that was crazy that they actually got him.
Yeah.
But did you guys watch the poop documentary? The
No.
poop cruise?
Poop cruise. I didn't watch that one.
That one that's good
Gross.
too.
That
That's
doesn't
good too.
appeal
You'll
to me.
like that, Maggie.
See, I don't want to watch that.
It's not really about. It's about incredible mismanagement of these cruise ships.
So to
They
me,
go deep.
I've been on a cruise ship before, and I had a great time. And I didn't think about the fact that when you're in international waters, that there's really nobody's kind of in charge except for the captain, who, the captain or the cruise director. These guys are hired, for safety and stuff, but also to make sure everyone's limboing and doing the Macarena and the electric slide.
That's fun.
The other thing too is you could fall not just into the ocean, but fall from one deck to the next.
Dear.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
it
falling
happens I'm telling you, this happens all the
Is it
time.
because people are so drunk? That's why?
I think the railings aren't high enough. Personally,
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Not that I've been on one. That sounds accurate.
I'm watching a riveting documentary. You guys should watch it. It's called The Last Dance. Wonderful stuff.
Well, we watched that during the pandemic.
Yeah, well, watch it again.
You need more Michael Jordan? I
Why
mean,
not?
we're all for it, but
Very unlikable.
ESPN 2 will just randomly play one of those docs, like The Last Dance or any of those 30 for 30s, and sometimes it'll get me hooked.
Yeah, man.
They played The Last Dance a couple weeks ago, and me and Perloff were talking about how we were watching the same episode randomly, 10 p.m. And then one time they were playing the Bad Boys, and I was so into it, even though I'd seen it already. I literally said, I'm gonna stop this, and I'm gonna start from the beginning, and then catch all the way up so I can watch this again.
It became personal with me.
I'm the worst at that. I watched the Dream Team documentary on NBA TV again last night. I've seen it 50 times. Yeah, it's We're definitely in a dry period. The Maggie's so excited about this. We kind of need football back for real.
Bogusch is here with all the latest of what actually did happen this weekend.
Well, this feels a little like the dude who proposed, 43 times before getting a yes? Cameron Young finally won his first PGA Tour event yesterday at the Wyndham Championship after 7 second-place finishes.
I've been waiting for it for a while. Yeah, I mean, I never thought I'd really be that emotional about it, but, it's the end of my 4th season, and I've had my chances never quite like this, and I wasn't going to let it get away from me today.
So the course finally said yes to Young. That was him on CBS after the win, and not only does he get his first win after those 7 second-place finishes, he is the 1,000th different winner of an officially recognized PGA Tour event. The very first one of those was the 1860 British Open.
Wow.
Thank you for the applause.
By the way, I mean, winning a PGA tournament now, it's not what it used to be, right? Because all the good golfers are at Live.
Oh, dear.
Wow, that's a shot.
I mean, it's reality. Why do you think?
Where's the Debbie Downer sound effect?
I'm just saying, like,
it's not that fast.
He won the PGA,
Why is
but
he
like,
running?
I could practically win a PGA Tour right now because DeChambeau and everybody else is overseas.
All the good ones are at the Maxi Pro League.
Is it going to become a weird thing where we're going to have to look at this? Now I'm actually wondering, are we going to look at these PGA Tour wins differently?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Scheffler, his legacy is already, people are wondering. It's like, well, something's going on here.
I thought he was the greatest golfer of all time.
But
he's trailing Tiger.
But definitely, people bring Live into that story. Where,
But the majors, all the Live guys play in the
but are they affected by being in Live? Because we haven't seen those guys perform consistently. There's definitely something going on in golf.
Because that's still a take, but I saw a video, Chris Broussard saying that we actually underrate Dr. J because we say he has 1 title, but he actually has 3 because he won 2 with the Nets, and the NBA and the AB in the 70s was kind of even. And so we look at those players
and he disagrees in the background.
In the 70s, we actually should be looking at them very differently, which I didn't really think about until he said that. So when you mentioned the Live PGA thing, I'm like, are we seeing an ABA NBA situation?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, you can't ignore the fact that there's so many big names that are not at these PGA tournaments week to week. You see these random winners, right?
Yeah, I guess what I'm falling on is, but nobody is caring about the Live championships because the format is so different and all of
Not
that.
at all.
I guess nobody cares about the ABA championships like Manny.
Right. I guess not.
Got that right, brother.
Yeah, I mean, people are more focused on the NBA than the Big Three, for example, which I also watched this weekend.
Oh, gosh,
my God. Pearl.
Was that
Desperate.
Yeah, I know. I tell you, the family leaves, and I was on my couch watching anything.
50-year-olds play 303 basketball. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I was wondering what Catino.
You guys
Mobley
ever
was
had
up
a
to.
moment where you were excited about, the Big Three? This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. No, there's always one day during the summer, one day where I'm I lock in for a good hour or two.
Yeah,
It's always random. I never know what weekend's going to be, but it's so boring, and I'm like, all right, Zon, I'll just watch this for a little bit. And I watch it, and then I don't go back to it. I never go back to it until the next year.
We're sorry, Ice Cube. You put on a great product.
No,
sorry,
I know.
Amy Trask. I love you. You're
We
the best.
love Amy Trask too. It's not that. It's just I watched a lot of Sharif Abdul-Rahim when he actually played. I just don't need it anymore.
He was really good.
Yeah.
But the problem is Michael Beasley's actually better now than he was in the NBA. So.
By the way, I watched a little bit of Ice Cube's now in a very popular movie, too, War of the Worlds, which is streaming on Amazon Prime.
Did you
watch that, too?
Did you have the same 48 hours as the rest of us? You watched everything.
Were you in a vortex?
When I say watch, that means I watched 2 minutes, but Ice Cube, have you guys seen this? Ice Cube is like the dramatic lead of a new version of War of the Worlds that people are really into.
I know he wants to do a lot more of those dramatic roles.
Yeah,
I see him
dude
talk
can
about
act.
that. Yeah, he can. I know. Yeah, he says he doesn't get enough of them, so I'm happy he got that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ice Cube kind of lost me when he started taking all these roles as a cop. Dude,
that was a little weird.
You got the song "Bleep the Police." It's a little. I can't do buddy cop with
Well,
you
you didn't
now.
like Ride Along with Kevin Hart?
I did not see
Catch,
that vehicle.
our favorite movies. What's our movie we love?
21 Jump Street.
Jump Street and 22
yes,
Jump
of
Street.
course.
He's hysterical
He's
as the
great.
captain.
Oh, yeah.
Very funny.
That was actually on TV last night. I was watching it.
Of course it was.
See, you're right, like
but
me.
with commercials, which is always just it's the worst.
gross.
And bleeps.
That's the same thing.
that's
Like when I
fine.
watch a movie and I'm watching it and this is one with commercials, I say, you know what streaming service is it on? I go back
Yeah.
and find the streaming service. I do the same thing with the docs. Like I was watching what's it called? Shang-Chi like a couple months ago, and it was the commercials. I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Putting up Disney Plus right now.
I'm too good for this. What else you got?
But wait, one sec. You guys think that who said this? That Ice Cube shouldn't be playing cops? Is that
I said
because
he
of his
lost
rap
me.
career?
Yeah.
That is a take. I can't believe we just went past that. That is a take that I wouldn't even dream of.
A little hypocritical, don't we think?
Yeah,
It's acting.
Definitely. You can't be F the police and then I'm a cop now.
It doesn't square.
Really, it's funny. I feel like he's kind of Uncle Ice Cube now. Like he's a little older.
I don't think he would love that, to be honest.
Well,
he's got an image to uphold.
Guy's an actor. It's so funny. Like he would take the role as a cop.
Okay, so was all the NWA stuff, was that just an act? It was a moment.
I never
You
thought
should have
of that.
standards.
Like so if for example, if you play a politician and you personally don't agree with those politics, if you're an actor, that's out of bounds.
No, I'm just saying, like, it was a real. It doesn't compute in my mind.
Snoop Dogg can never play a DEA agent.
Be like, what is going on? Yeah, like a dare. Was it?
Yeah, Dare.
Yeah, of course.
Well, like Christian Bale
Drug abuse
played.
resistance education.
There you go.
Christian Bale played Dick Cheney, right? In the
Yes.
movie Vice.
No, but he's just an actor. Ice Cube started as a musical
I know.
artist,
Right.
who was like his art was saying bleep the police.
Right. If Christian Bale was like some some progressive activist or whatever, and that was his career, and then he was like, I'm gonna play Dick Cheney, that might be a little weird.
No, but I think these great musicians become actors and then go counter to their I don't know. What if Bob Dylan became an actor and decided he wanted to play whoever?
Yeah, but he didn't.
You say, but we would have ripped him? No, I feel
he wouldn't have done it.
Ice Cube is a thespian. I disagree with this. I think once you're into the art of acting, he's an actor now. You guys can't stop him from playing a cop. Ride along, by the way, like he was some deep message with him and Kevin Hart.
It wasn't exactly training day. I understand.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a deep exploration of the policeman's mind. It was ride along.
Yeah, it wasn't Serpico. I
Parloff,
understand.
the actor, coming out right now.
Yes.
Scene.
For example, when I played a basketball reporter, I just dove into the character. When I played a boom mic guy, I was Louis the boom mic guy. And then when I was walking across that parking lot in the movie we discussed earlier, I was softball fan number 3.
Bo Cruz, how's it feel getting into the combine?
So cool.
Same.
So cool you're in that movie.
Just like Ice Cube.
Yeah, I told you, my barber thinks you're an actor. I've said that a bunch.
He's wrong.
Union do say that you are, though.
Yeah.
You get to be,
know.
you're that guy from that thing.
I pay like an actor, but nobody thinks I'm an actor. But meanwhile, it's better than Ice Cube. Ice Cube, you guys are pigeonholing him to play.
Yeah, to be a rapper. How dare we?
We have to put a poll up on this. Is it okay for Ice Cube to play policeman?
No, is it hypocritical?
Yeah. It's like
Right.
It's also like reverse pigeonholing. We're saying there's one thing you probably shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he can do a lot of other things. He wants to be a king. He wants to be
Okay.
the president. Go ahead. But the cop thing's a little contradictory.
All right. I never thought of it like that. I think once you become an actor, he's not a rapper anymore. Well, maybe he is, but
I don't know. Spent a lot of years saying bleep the police. Now we're making money.
Oh,
playing
my
the
God.
police.
Giggling at police.
Okay, we've got a lot to do, Bogusch. Thank you. We've got an update for you on Aaron Rodgers and also Shedeur Sanders. So much to do. It's M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Well, the votes came in from far and wide. Jordon took the crown, now ain't that right? The great one fell, the crowd went wild. Aaron is flying high with that Jordan style. But while the bracket crowned the king that day, there was trouble brewing down old hallway. HR calling up with a real stern tone, saying, Drunkle Sam, you can't bring moonshine from home. Hey! Aaron has won the bracket, slamming like the goat. But Sam was sipping whiskey from a Maggie branded Yeti tote. Perloff's laughing, Maggie's got a smirk, but HR's got a folder marked Sam do not rework. And there's the Lottie man nobody knows. His ship's been ghosted just like his old promos. We raise a toast to his airness, but the office is a mess when Drunkle Sam's in trouble and Pete don't show. Well, God bless. They say Sam stood up on the break room table, yelling Space Jam 2 is better. Was he stable? He quoted stats, he spilled his gin, knocked over the Keurig and blamed Perloff again. Meanwhile, HR's trying to hold the line, while Belotti's still working remote from Caroline. The coffee's cold, The chair is broken. Someone hotboxed the studio with Bigfoot smoking. Ernest won the bracket, the fans gave the say, but Sam got written up 3 times that day. No Bilotti call, no Bilotti text, and Maggie saying, what in the HR hex? A tale of 2 legends, one on the court and one on probation for spiked iced tea reports. We salute MJ's air and Sam's wild distress. When you party like a champ, expect the HR mess. Hey! Now Bilotti might return one day, right after he's done surfing in Tampa Bay. And Drunkle Sam, well, he's learning fast. You can't bring a flask to a show that's broadcast. So here's to Air Jordan, a nickname so divine, and to Sam, who's banned from sipping on company time. With a tear in his eye and a write-up in hand, he still claims vault's better than Ozzy Albies. Man, we got chaos in the booth, no Bilotti in sight. Just Maggie Perloff and HR's Friday night, when legends rise and interns regress. It's just another day of Maggie and Perloff, God bless. Hey!
2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
What the is Aaron Rodgers up to today?
Just expounding on this bromance with Mike Tomlin. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Yeah, Mike Tomlin called it a bromance last week in this like weird kind of victory parade, preseason victory parade that happened in Latrobe. Listen, it
was kind of a bromance.
If Steeler fans are excited, well, I'm not going to yuck their yums. That's fine. That's well. But it's almost like a little over the top with the Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers love. So Rodgers gave an interview, Pearl, to Mike Silver, who's been on this show many times.
Yep.
And he said that he actually thinks in the conversations he was having with Mike Tomlin leading up to Rodgers signing with the Steelers, that Tomlin may have been taking notes during their conversations because the callbacks that he had to things they were talking about were so good. He doesn't know how someone could remember that stuff, right? And
so wait, he was thinking he took it. He actually did take those.
He said he thinks he may have, and he doesn't care if he did. But like that, Tomlin actually was like,
got it.
Yeah, it's like, all right, so Bill's having an issue, and then like the fact that he was like, so how's Bill doing? was so amazing to Aaron Rodgers. And it kind of made me think, like, man, how transactional has this guy's relationships been throughout his NFL career that the simple act of him telling Mike Tomlin, hey, things are going on in my personal life, and the fact that Mike Tomlin, like, followed up and just said, how are things going, was, like, enough to create this amazing relationship.
Well,
does no one ask anybody, how's your family doing? Or how's it, Rodgers is saying, I'm going through this difficult time. I have people in my life who are struggling. And he was so, like, impressed that Tomlin, like, was asking him about it.
But is this just his love affair, Aaron Rodgers' love affair with Nathaniel Hackett, his former OC, part 2? Because remember, he would talk about Nathaniel Hackett like he invented the wheel. He loved Nathaniel Hackett more than any quarterback has ever loved an assistant coach. So I think this might be a trend where Aaron Rodgers gets really emotionally attached to coaches. I mean, I don't want to get too deep here, but obviously has issues with his father, maybe finding new father figures. Although at this point, kind of the same age as Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. But a coach is a very, it's a very powerful title.
And it seems like Aaron Rodgers is quite emo, to be honest. Pretty emotional dude.
Yeah, and, I was just wondering, like, is the emotional intelligence that low of other people around him that he's just so super impressed that someone remembered, like, anything? Anyway, that's a little of what the bleep is Aaron Rodgers up to today. I have another question, though. If you are talking to somebody and you know they're taking notes, or you think they're taking notes, is it that impressive they remembered what you were talking about? Like, you go to therapy, the therapist is writing stuff down, and then they ask you about it, the subsequent times.
I'm not sure your point exactly. So you're saying it's bad to take notes?
No, I'm saying, do you get full credit for being like, I'm super engaged in what this person is telling me because they are taking notes, Rodgers thought.
Yeah.
Is it more impressive or less impressive?
So by the way, so they were on a phone call, right? So he didn't see the notes being taken.
Yes, he just thinks they.
And interesting, of course, this is an older coach and an older player because normally, like, I think the youngsters would have FaceTimed this out.
Oh, good
But
point.
then again, Rodgers is in Malibu where the Wi-Fi is not great.
Everyone knows you don't get good service.
And you might have to go to a traditional phone. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I still think it's impressive that someone bothers to take notes. I think that's a cool move by Tomlin. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I guess, like, how I don't want to downplay Mike Tomlin's investment into Aaron Rodgers and doing these phone calls, but, like, to me, it just didn't seem like that high of a bar to clear, and Rodgers seems so impressed. So it kind of just made me think, what of Rodgers' other coaches, how little time have they actually been putting in to get to know the most important person on the roster?
Well, Mike Tomlin's, like, kind of notorious, maybe that's the wrong word, but he's very much known for being, like, a player's coach.
Exactly.
Like a guy that definitely is able to relate to his players. I'll never forget that time they had a win and he was, like, doing a dance on a TikTok with the players. Like, So he definitely is a guy who connects to players, but I also think that this could be, as Perloff was mentioning, Rodgers' old age, right? Because how is Mike McCarthy going to connect to a 27-year-old Aaron Rodgers, right? Like,
Mike McCarthy connected to Jerry Jones when he had that sleepover. Like, Mike McCarthy was not. Whoa. That was one of Mike McCarthy's problems. I don't think he had a great relationship with young players.
Right. So, like, I think some of these guys, it may be difficult because just the age gap is going to make it impossible. And now we have Rodgers who's in his 40s. These things that he's talking about in terms of his personal, like, Mike Tomlin may actually relate to, like, in a weird way. Because Mike Tomlin's, I think, only 53. So they're kind of close in age. So that could be just. It maybe it's just a happenstance that, like, this is going to be a better relationship because of that age situation.
I also wonder, I mean, is this something where, listen, maybe they're only together for a year, maybe it's 2 if things go really well this year, but is it possible to maintain this level of love? Like, you are also in a working relationship where things are not going to go right all the time, and sometimes there can be a level of tension that exists between a coach and a quarterback. Like, that's just going to happen. Yeah, you'll get through it. The best ones do. But they're setting themselves up for, like, this really, I think it's a little like when Rodgers wanted Devontae Adams to come back, to come play with him in New York. It's like that was trying to rekindle a nostalgia thing, but it's like you build it up, and it didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, but I think that Rodgers has loyalty. I mean, remember when he was defending Hackett, who's who's real true love, against Sean Payton? He said, "Keep my coach's name out of your mouth."
Oh yeah.
So I think Rodgers I get the sense, I guess it depends what your expectations for the season are. Is Rodgers there to win a Super Bowl, or is he there just to sort of have a positive year? I don't see this imploding. Because first of all, everybody loves Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I don't think it would implode. They're at a high bar right now.
I don't think this is going to be a problem. I don't sense, I guess the problem would be that Arthur Smith is not going to run an offense that Aaron Rodgers loves. And then I think Arthur Smith would probably take the bullets ahead of Mike T. I think that and by the way, they would all come back afterwards because Belichick and Tom Brady clearly clashed at the end, and now they say very positive things about each other. So I'm not worried about this bromance. I think it's meant to last, Maggie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I trust Rodgers because...
But he is when he gets loyal, he is loyal.
That's true, but he also said a lot of really nice things about Robert Saleh, and then I still think there's something about the winning that has to come here.
I think he still likes Saleh. I have a sense that...
He had a weird way of showing it.
Yeah, but I think that was Woody. I don't think that was Rodgers. In fact, I think that Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, would have fired both Rodgers and Saleh halfway through that season if he could have.
It's interesting. Fire a player.
Well, he tried to bench him. Yeah. That was openly reported.
I agree.
888-710-4ISN. A little bit what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin. Is this bromance sustainable? Especially if they're not winning a lot. You mentioned Belichick and Brady. They've got 6 rings together. There's a lot of good times to reflect on. Coming up, we are asking one big question about the quarterback. We're taking on the NFC North next.
Gave a save, but Sam got written up 3 times that. There's a storm rolling in on the pickleball court. Bailey showed up in jorts and a cut-off shirt. Pierre walked in with a monogram grip, talking about spinning angles and wrist flick tips. Daly just smirked, said bless your heart, then served that ball like a moonshine dart. Pierre's got a name that belongs in Versailles, but he's getting schooled by a dude who eats fries. Daly just smirked, said bless your heart, then served that ball like a moonshine dart. Pierre's got a name that belongs in Versailles, but he's getting schooled by a dude who eats fries. Daly's gonna wreck Pierre, say it loud. Gonna humble that paddle prince in front of the crowd. You can't beat grit with your country club flair, cause ain't nothing fancy about winning fair and square. So sip your latte, Pierre, sit in your chair, cause Daly's bringing smoke and he ain't gonna share. Pierre's wearing wristbands, got strategy charts. Daly's just playing with pure backwoods heart. He don't need top spin, he don't need grace, just a greasy breakfast and a steel game face. He dunks, he smashed that serve. Pierre backed off, didn't have the nerve. They say it's just a game, but not to Daly. He's playing for pride and a biscuit with gravy. Pierre sounds like a perfume. Daly sounds like a man who chops wood at noon. Daly's gonna wreck Pierre on this day. That snooty spin shot's getting blown away. You bring your finesse, he'll bring the boom and send that pickleball straight to your ballroom. So next time you serve, let's say a prayer, cause Daly's coming and he don't fight fair. Pierre's probably still Googling what's a dinker. Shots getting blown away. You bring your finesse, he'll bring the bomb and send that pickleball straight to your ballroom. So next time you serve, I say prayer, cause Daly's coming and he don't fight fair. Chat where the wild ones roam. There's a legend named Drunkle Never Drinks Alone. He's got caps lock, wisdom, and a typing hand, defending on Maggie like a one-man band. Y'all back off, he types an all bold. She ain't gross, she's just cold. Yeah, maybe she acting that Yeti one night, but rinse it with bourbon, it'll turn out right. Struggle sound in the digital stand, swearing up and down, that's my Kim, I'm her man. Is he real, is he fake, no one really knows, but he's got her back through highs and lows. Family's family, he swears with pride, you don't judge a girl on a rough ride. So here's to the myth and a Yankees hat cam, raising bottles full drunk will sound. He claims he taught her to throw a curve and burp the alphabet without losing nerve. Says Maggie's tough, ain't no shame in that. Then spills PBR all over his cat. Selling BT, try to scroll past the mess, but Sam's in the chat screaming, show some respect. She ain't just a host, she's my blood and soul. That Yeti's historic like the record show. Drunkle Sam, the mysterious fan, defending his niece with a keyboard in hand. Is he blood, is he bluff? Hell, we can't be sure, but he fight the whole chat just to keep her pure. Real love will stand tall through the cringe and the crown, so shut your traps, Drunkle Sam.
15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Micah Parsons should feel insulted at this point. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, insulted by Jerry Jones. People say this is just business. This is getting very personal. And if we all think that the outcome is actually going to be the same, which is Parsons eventually does sign, even though he requested a trade, Perloff, how we're getting here does feel quite different from other contract negotiations, even though Jerry Jones is trying to say these are all the same, don't lose any sleep over it. I've been through this a million times. Well, not really this. And not just because Micah Parsons is also equally as comfortable, it seems, in this spotlight and is courting it and is naming names and is out there, you know, telling you all the dirty details about this is when this happened, this is when this happened, you know, as he's requesting a trade. He's not hiding. He's not letting Jerry do his thing and then eventually coming back to the table for the money. He's out there saying his side. If he can't control the contract, at least he's going to control the story, or he's going to try. And I think this has gotten personal more so than other contracts. It started off with Jerry saying he didn't know Micah Parsons' agent's name, which is just disrespectful.
I don't know his name.
Then it continued with Jerry saying, well, Micah Parsons, we could sign him to this contract. He could get hurt tomorrow and not even pay it off. Well, yeah, Jerry, that's all of anyone you signed to a contract. That's not just Micah Parsons. And by the way, why'd he get hurt last year? It wasn't snowboarding. It was playing football for you. And then the third thing is the latest thing, which is him bringing up Dez Bryant in a long ago contract negotiation that Jerry Jones did with Jay-Z. And saying, well, Jay-Z assured me that Dez Bryant was going to be a model teammate the moment he put pen to paper. And then all of a sudden, Dez is late to meetings and this, that, and the other. And I'm calling Jay-Z and he's not returning my calls. Kind of implying that Micah Parsons is going to sign this contract and then become a headache. This is getting personal here. I think Jerry is making a huge mistake.
I totally disagree. I think this is going to end in the same place that all these contract negotiations do. And I think I agree with Jerry. Yeah, like, don't worry about the trade request. That's just part of business. And I think Jerry was just bragging that he got to sit and talk to Jay-Z, as I would do as well. I think it's all bluster. And I do agree with you about Parsons will go to the same place Jerry does, which is unique. And it definitely is personal. I agree with you, but it's not going to make the slightest difference once he gives him $41 million a year contract. Just like Myles Garrett requesting a trade from Cleveland, and then a week later being like, man, I love being here in Cleveland. It always changes with the money. Always, 100% of the time. And Micah Parsons is going to be fine.
Okay, that maybe, but again, this is different. It does feel different.
How does it feel different than Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb? Just because of the public back and forth? But that was like, we covered Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb very closely as well.
Dak Prescott never said a bad word about anybody, never gave you any details, always said we're going to keep this private, and CeeDee Lamb stayed away. They let Jerry do the talking and then came in. This is not the same. And also, none of those guys requested a trade. Ezekiel Elliott never requested a trade. You can go all the way back. These guys don't request trades. It is a little bit different, and he requested it to Steven.
What do you expect to happen?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think the odds would tell you, if I'm going by history, that he will sign this deal and it will be fine. But I just have trouble thinking that all's forgiven. And the reason why I think that is because even CeeDee Lamb, and in some cases Prescott, have come to support Micah Parsons by saying, like, this is unnecessary. Almost like they have sort of leftover animosity over how their own contracts went down, even though those guys got paid. So I do think it lingers. And I think you wonder why the Dallas Cowboys are not a winning organization, even though they do draft well, even though they do eventually pay guys. Like, it's obviously Jerry, and I don't think he's ever been about winning. So, or he hasn't been about winning in a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, realistically, all that could be true. Their problem is they can't stop the run and they can't really run the ball. And Dak Prescott is totally brittle. Even if Micah Parsons has a lot of bad feelings, that's like number 8 on my list for Cowboys problems. And that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if they were a little better than we thought they are.
Well, that's probably just because we all think, or at least Las Vegas thinks they're not a playoff team. So,
well, yeah,
it doesn't get much lower.
But they're definitely like, it definitely gets lower. It could be the Cleveland Browns. They're definitely a bit of a confusing team because they have a lot. They have Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, and CeeDee Lamb. Like, there are good players. So I just think that they definitely. I think Micah gets there, and I think he's a pro, and he's going to play really hard. Hopefully, he'll stay healthy. His size was always worried me a little bit, and I think all will be forgotten. I understand what you're saying. It definitely, while there are some differences in the process, I think the end result's going to be exactly the same.
We're also asking you today, is Jerry Jones the most unlikable figure in sports? No is winning 59% to 41%, but certainly not a blowout by any stretch. So you can weigh in on that, just because if you're going to be out there and you're going to be, acting like the smartest guy in the room, and it's going to be the bluster and it's going to be the bravado, but you don't have the winning to back it up. Like, this is the thing about sports, unlike any other business or, acting or something like that. That's all up to your taste. We have winners and losers. That's the best part about sports. You always get to determine it on the field. And the results on the field, spare me the regular season, they're in this to win Super Bowls. The results on the field have been beyond subpar. So.
What?
Yeah. They haven't made it past the divisional round, Pearl. They're your Philadelphia 76ers. No one's saying that this has not been successful. You don't get to hang banners for getting a 12-win season. It doesn't work like that.
But to make him the most unlikable person in sports seems a little harsh.
Well, okay, I'll give you this. Now, this is not the worst I've ever seen, but Manny, I want you to play cut 1, please, because here is Jerry Jones getting testy with a reporter about the Micah Parsons negotiation. And just keep in mind, this is Jerry's choice here to not only be talking to the media every day, but also to be wrapped up in this contract battle.
Again, I've started negotiations in March.
With his agent?
I said I started negotiation in March, and I've negotiated double handfuls of contracts just like I did in March.
He thought it was
again. Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I started that in March. I visited with him in negotiation.
My question is, he thought the meeting was about leadership, not about his contract.
It's my answer. It's my answer. I was negotiating in March.
It's just like, have you earned that? Considering what's going on now, you want to say you start negotiating in March, and they're saying that, and his side is saying that's not in good faith. That was a conversation about something completely different. It was not about the contract. He steered the conversation towards the contract, according to Micah Parsons. And then tried to, hold Parsons to something that was said in a meeting that Parsons didn't even realize was happening until it was too late.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, it's not ideal. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But most unlikable person in sports feels like kind of even almost an unfair question because he's not the most. Is he the most unlikable owner? Maybe he's definitely not the worst owner because we know they're much bigger dumpster fires, right? Cleveland, the Jets.
Yeah, Carolina.
Although I think they've turned it around.
I think Miami's
I think they found a good one.
bad.
I mean, they're definitely losing. They're more losing teams at the Cowboys. There's worse teams that we see at the top. We love our guys in Jacksonville, but they've had a rough go of it. I mean, there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, Mark Davis, is he a worse owner than Mark Davis?
But here's the thing. Jerry has transcended owner. We said before, American icon.
Definitely.
He's got his own Netflix documentary that's going to be coming out. Shad Khan doesn't have that.
Jerry's a Hall of Famer.
Right. And I think he saw the Hall of Fame as mission accomplished. And everything else is just whatever happens, I'll just try to keep their attention like I'm some sort of snake charmer.
But
not winning.
But to call him the most unlikable person in sports just feels, I'm sure, in fact, that 40% agree with that. I don't know. The most unlikable person in sports is a pretty, pretty low bar, even for Jerry haters. I mean, we're talking all sports, like every single sport.
All sports. 888-710-4ISN. All right. You're welcome to weigh in on the Cowboys and that mess. Meanwhile, every day until the start of the season, we are asking one big question about the quarterback.
I feel so lucky to be the quarterback.
It's the position everyone wishes they could play.
Why can't I be quarterback, huh? Sit down and shut up.
But it's not for the faint at heart.
Quarterbacks are premium.
I think those things add up to make it quarterbacking the toughest job in sports.
Maggie and Perloff answer one big question about the quarterback.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
EJ, we have done the AFC East, the NFC East, so who's up today?
All right, so we're in the NFC North, and that first voice you heard was one Jared Goff. So we're asking the question today about the Lions QB. Will Jared Goff go down as the greatest Lions quarterback of all time?
And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap.
Pearl, you want to take this one first? Go ahead.
No, it'll be Matthew Stafford. And I know that Jared Goff's got a lot further in the playoffs, but honestly, right now, Jared Goff is defined by his playoff shortcomings. He was a bit of a disaster in that Commanders game. He had a key fumble, and he had a pick six that was 100% on him. That totally cost him the game. There's no doubt about it. The defense was awful, but Jared Goff had to be better in that game, and Jared Goff has just had high moments where he's come up short in the playoffs. If he won the Super Bowl, then maybe we could talk about this. But the truth is, when you look at the Lions, one of the problems is that Jared Goff has not stepped up in the postseason when he should. Stafford never did anything in the postseason, famously, but just his sustained excellence in Detroit was pretty remarkable for a franchise that was lost. I mean, he just came out and balled out year in and year out. He probably built. I always thought he was almost a Hall of Famer before the Super Bowl. His numbers for his era are astounding. So I think it's going to be Matthew Stafford as number one.
Let's go, y'all.
I will give you Goff to make a strong case for number two, but it's got to be Stafford.
Yeah, see, I think it is going to be Goff. I mean, he's already gotten to, much further than any other Lions QB, getting to the NFC Championship game against San Francisco, having that lead, and then unfortunately blowing it, which I think most people put on Dan Campbell more than they do Jared Goff. So I don't know how much he wears that. And I think last year, the flame out against Washington gets put more on the defense and how banged up they were than Jared Goff. So even in some high-profile playoff failures, I don't think Goff is wearing it. And I think instead he's being looked at as the guy who's steering the ship, because here's the thing. Matthew Stafford in Detroit, everyone's like say, man, he had like all these hands tied behind his back, all his hands tied behind his back.
Yeah.
Well, he also had Megatron. It's not, we like to think that the cupboard was so wildly bare. You know, he had a first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver with him. And yeah, could the coaches have been a little bit better?
Yeah.
Well, they had Jim Schwartz, who had put together a pretty good defense. I mean, once they got to Matt Patricia, who, after Jim Caldwell, who should not have been fired, and then getting to Matt Patricia, and it was just, I understand why Stafford wanted to trade. But to be fair, when Matthew Stafford finally won his Super Bowl, Pearl, he had an all-star team around him. It feels like,
He had
Stafford.
the same team that Jared Goff couldn't win with.
He had better guys than that.
Barely. I mean, basically the same team.
Odell Beckham ended up getting hurt in the Super Bowl, but was big in that run, their playoff run. And he had a Aaron Donald really coming into his own at that point and really, peaked in that Super Bowl where he won that Super Bowl.
That was actually the end of Aaron Donald's career.
Well, but again, had you ever seen him take over a game like that in a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he was already multiple Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm just saying, Pearl.
That probably wasn't peak Aaron Donald, actually. But anyway.
The other part, too, is let's not forget, I think that the Super Bowl where Jared Goff, where they lost to the Patriots, let's not forget how horribly outcoached Sean McVay got in that Super Bowl. Belichick played him like a fiddle all year long, was calling him and trying to glean information about what, Sean McVay was doing and what he was running. Belichick set him up. And
if you're going to go there, obviously, if you're going to talk about what happened in L.A. compared to what happened in Detroit, then Stafford's going to win this argument. Because Stafford won the Super Bowl in L.A. All they had to do is get rid of Goff and put in Stafford, and boom, McVay's a champion. So you can't dunk on McVay here because all he needed was a better quarterback.
Okay.
That proves the whole argument.
No, but it's like, I think people want to say, well, Jared Goff has a better team around him now than Stafford ever did as far as Detroit.
Yeah.
But it's like Stafford had to go. The reason why he's successful in LA is because he went there and it was an all-in team, even more so than when Jared Goff was there. Plus, you had McVay learning the lessons from the first Super Bowl loss. He was a much smarter coach, obviously, in that second Super Bowl than he was in the first one, where he just got completely outclassed. He was just out of his depth. So I
don't know. That team was, first of all, that team never, ever, ever should have been in the Super Bowl. That 2018 Rams, they basically, officials handed them the game against the Saints.
Yep.
That team was not ready for the Super Bowl. I will give you, which is not Goff's fault. But you might call McVay outclassed. If he had been able to win that game against Tom Brady, that would have been the biggest miracle ever. Because the Rams had no right being there, especially with Goff. Goff was not playing that well at that point. He'd already been kind of up and down a little bit. He had a good year that year, but Goff was not great in L.A. Honestly, it was not a huge surprise. Stafford's just a better quarterback. Will you admit that? He's just a better at the position.
To be honest, if you look at their metrics, though, they're very, very similar. And I'm talking about quarterback rating. I'm talking about touchdown interception ratio. I'm talking about all the things we can use besides your eye test to compare one quarterback to another. And Jared Goff is right there. Plus, they were both number one overall picks. I think that Goff is going to end up being remembered as not just the better QB in Detroit, but he's got a leg up on Stafford in this respect. I think everyone loved Matthew Stafford, but then he did choose to leave.
Yeah.
Goff has come in as the outcast where you thought, oh, this was just an add-in in a trade to get draft picks, and he's taken the position and run with it. And he's been, accurate when he's needed to be. He's been a leader when he's needed to be. All the things that I think Detroit appreciates about him when Matthew Stafford, you ultimately leave a Midwestern, gritty, blue-collar town to go to L.A. I don't care who you are. There's a symbolism there, and I don't think it's lost on the Lions fans.
Yeah, no, they love Jared Goff. Definitely. But I think if you're talking legacy-wise, the question was not who do they love more, who's a better Lions quarterback. I still think it's going to be Stafford, especially if Jared Goff can't get over the hump. And there's a lot of reasons to think they won't get over the hump because it's not just they lost their coordinators. They just cannot stay healthy on defense. They're still having injuries, more injuries on defense. So I really, really worry about this team. Has their window closed a little bit? And if Jared Goff never wins a Super Bowl, I think that you're going to look back on this Lions period as somewhat disappointing.
888-710-4ISN. So there you go. We're asking one big question about the Lions quarterback room today. Will Jared Goff go down as the greatest Lions QB of all time?
I'll never see it coming.
No, it's Stafford. I think Goff will. And I wasn't always of this opinion. But I think he is. You look at the numbers.
Yeah.
They're both it's like the same. And you have a guy who's actually gone further in the playoffs. Stafford never won a playoff game in Detroit.
But Stafford will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I do not think Jared Goff is on a Hall of Fame course right now. I wouldn't think. Unless, again, if he gets a ring to Detroit, then I would vote for him in 2 seconds. But that's a long way away, Maggie. I mean, we're assuming a lot to think that he's going to get there.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, one of the great moments in Hall of Fame speech history, And it did not come from one of the players who was getting inducted, but rather one of the writers. The MMP 500 comes your way next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
The M&P 500 on the Infinity Sports Network.
Every week we do stock up, stock down in the sports world. I'm curious. It was not a huge sports weekend if we get any pop culture and entertainment into this thing. But why don't you start us off, Maggie?
Yeah, I'm going to start with a Hall of Fame induction. I got 2 from the Hall of Fame induction, but stock up Jared Allen, who decided to do his signature sack dance after the speech was over and ripped his pants.
Would that be stock up or stock down?
I thought it was stock up. I like somebody who goes for it, even if they're not in the appropriate outfit. And also, thank God he was wearing underwear. Like, he ripped these pants cleared from the back, from the butt, all the way down to the knee. I mean, they basically disintegrated. So that's a stock up. You got to go for it in your big moment. And then he walked off the stage with his pants flapping in the wind.
Oh, I love it. Can you do your second one, too? Because I also love this and want to be in on the stock upness of this one.
Okay, so you guys have the audio of this. Now, Mary Kay Cabot, who is a Cleveland sports reporter and has been for a long time, she got inducted as a writer into the Hall of Fame. Huge, huge honor. So stock up just on her own. Then we got to the speech, and she was gold.
Now, I totally understand why Bill gave me such a hard time. I was 28 at the time, and he just couldn't relate to a woman that old.
Yeah. Mary Kay Cabot talking about her relationship with Bill Belichick when he was the coach of the Browns, okay? Decades earlier. And she said he used to call her and read her out on the phone about things that she would write. And can you imagine, Pearl, how awful Belichick must have been to her all those years ago, that decades later she's like, I'm gonna roast this dude in my Hall of Fame speech.
Love it. Yeah, I can imagine it because I've seen it for 30 years. I can't imagine it anyway. Although Belichick does have a few friends in the media, like Glenn Ordway, the Boston radio legend. Like, if Belichick likes you, yes, but he has been consistently a jerk to your average reporter forever.
And imagine behind the scenes, he must be so much worse. I mean, in the press conferences, he's mean, he's a bully. You wrote about this, about the irony of him now being in the media and how hypocritical he looks. And it was great, and your article was received very well. I just imagine it's so much worse behind the scenes, because you would think 30 years later, maybe it's water under the bridge, but not to Mary Kay.
I don't know.
Read the MRI.
I'm not sure he gives much behind the scenes. He's mean in press conferences. One of my favorite stories, he chewed out our buddy Damon Hack at the Golf Channel. Because Damon came in from Sports Illustrated, what I knew, and he asked a question that had been asked the day before about something about wide receivers' health. And Bill said, that is one of the dumbest questions I ever heard. Look at the transcript. I answered yesterday. And Damon's like, I wasn't here. And Bill gave him a death stare. That is so typical Bill Belichick. Sorry, Damon, I didn't mean to bring your name into this, but everybody has a story of him being mean. I think that sometimes you mistake it for charming, like no, not you. No, you, the general you. Like Belichick and Greg Popovich was mean to reporters, but it was cute in a way sometimes, or it was perceived as funny. And Belichick on to Cincinnati is perceived by Patriots fans as hysterical.
Right.
They love that. But if you're actually a reporter, it's not so good. Can I do my stock down from Mary Kay Cabot? She was on top of reporting. She was in Canton. Then she got back to Browns camp, or was at Browns camp, a lot on Shedeur Sanders pulling himself out of practice with arm soreness. Now, this was a bit of a confusing headline. So Shedeur is in this 4-way quarterback competition and basically sat out of practice with arm soreness. According to Mary Kay, he went up to the coaches and said, my arm hurts. So it's not like a fake story or anything. They're not affecting it. That has to make you nervous because he's got to win the job right now, Maggie. Like, he does not have any time. They have their first preseason game on Friday. If he misses any practices, how is he going to be ready to go? Because I think we're all holding in our mind that Shedeur is going to come out in preseason and just throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and win this job. Now that's seeming less and less likely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he was ever going to actually get the starting job. I think that was a pipe dream, but he definitely could have beaten out with Dylan Gabriel, but it doesn't look like that can happen if you have arm soreness and you're not out there. Because Dylan Gabriel has also been a little bit more up and down. So,
but Dylan Gabriel's gotten all the first team work, and apparently Shedeur has gotten none of the first team work. So they're trying to. I kind of am curious, like, how do you stash Shedeur? They want to go Kenny Pickett. I mean, we're going to be talking about this all summer, but Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, and Dylan Gabriel. That's 3. Where do you put Shedeur?
Yes, Pearl, this didn't make sense the day they drafted him. It makes less sense now. You're asking for an answer. I don't have one for you.
What if he's hurt and there's injured reserve? So that's what I'm wondering about, too.
It's possible.
But then again, he might practice today and look great. Who knows? The whole thing's a bit of a mess.
I did 2 stock ups, so I will do a stock down. Manny's Yankees swept by the Marlins for the first time ever, and they are just an abomination of a baseball team.
It's all right in front of us, though, Maggie.
Yeah, that's the Aaron Boone mantra. And by the way, this was the first time I thought, I bet Boone could get fired mid-season here. Now, they won't do it. They probably should. And I like Aaron Boone. It's not about that. It's just clearly the message is stale. You got the team keeps committing these boneheaded errors.
That's baseball.
What's going on with Jazz Chisholm getting picked off of first base on a pop-up?
He tried to explain his way out of it. I ain't buying it. He thought Xavier Edwards might have, dropped the ball, so, you have less speed and Paul Goldschmidt over at first, but instead he got doubled off. Great job, Jazz.
That's one fat dose of I don't care. In Little League, you know not to do something like that. And what's the first base coach doing?
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, JV. And the first base coach is asleep, too.
That would be Travis Chapman. Thank you very much.
Great. Don't give the job to him.
I wish someone would explain it to me.
Yeah. Me and Sterling, same. Anyway, stock down. New York Yankees. Pearl, back over to you.
I saw they're like the worst road team in like recent memory. Like, is that a thing with the Yankees through the years? Have they always?
No.
Is Boone this is brand new, right? Like last year they were really good on the road, and now they can't win. Yeah, I'm enjoying that kind. I'm sorry, Yankees fans. Okay, well, we're gonna get into baseball. Play the clip of my man Duran for the Phillies. I'm just kidding. I didn't give the clip, but
wait, what?
The Phillies new closer, and help me with
heart
this
attack I just had.
I want to say.
I was like, "What are you doing?"
I want to say, is it Joanne?
Yeah.
Joanne.
It's pronounced like Joanne, right? But it's Joanne.
I think it's Joanne. I keep thinking there's like a j sound, but everyone says it.
It's like a soft.
Like it's a Y.
Okay, so is it full on Johan? It's spelled J-O.
It's not Johan. It's like Johan. It's not Johan though. There's
right. Duran. Anyway, the guy set I was just telling Maggie, a record for the fastest pitch ever thrown in the Phillies stadium at 102.5 last night, and he didn't even look like he was trying. He was the new closer for the Phillies is breaking all kinds of radar records for he throws a slider at 99.
That doesn't make sense.
I just think I can't believe all these guys are faster than Nolan Ryan, but it certainly is exciting for Phillies fans. My only question is, can you throw at 103 miles an hour consistently and be healthy through the end of October? I mean, that thing is a fireball.
No, I mean, this is baseball now. You just wear out people's arms. You don't care. And they blow their arms out, and then they get Tommy John, and you just are in this cycle constantly.
That's baseball.
But, like, when you trade for a Mason Miller or a Duran, like, can you expect them to last through the season? Is what, that's what I was...
a couple months.
Yeah, I know. It's so... But I'm praying, like, all right, just last till October, then I don't care if you go straight to the surgeon afterwards. But it is crazy how fast that guy throws the ball.
Johan Duran, by the way. Let the Latino help you guys.
Thank you.
But you're going why, then?
Johan. See, I see. I just said C. I see it right here on Baseball Reference. Johan Duran.
There you go.
Can you say it that way?
Johan Duran.
Duran.
Duran. Oh, not Duran, like Duran.
Duran. Like do.
There's a tilde over the A. Duran.
Duran.
Thank you.
Different than Roberto Duran.
That's
correct.
Well, his was probably Duran too, but maybe we all mispronounced it.
Or
we didn't care in the 70s.
I'm stealing this joke from a friend, but the most popular Duran since Duran toured in Philadelphia in 1989. That is a dad joke galore.
Wow.
You've never even heard of Duran.
I have Duran saved on my rejoin music. Don't play with me.
Yeah, it was really, you didn't know, it was Duran.
It's true, yes, they're actually Puerto Rican.
You thought they were British. They're not. Last one, we get to Bogusch here. I just want to do a stock up and a happy birthday, guys. Guess who turned 100 years old yesterday?
Me.
You only look it and feel it, Bogues. The great Marv Levy turned
Oh,
100 years old. He was serenaded at the Hall of Fame induction. Who's there in the gold jacket, watching all the speeches. Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, James Lofton, all singing happy birthday to Marv Levy, 100 years old.
Go Bills. I saw the picture of Jim Kelly and was it Andre Reed?
Yep.
It feels like that team has a lot of love, even if they didn't get a Super Bowl. I know that some of them had up and down lives, but that, you know better than me, Maggie. It feels like a real bond.
Absolutely. Let's get to Bogusch now with all the latest and greatest.
Guys, the Milwaukee Brewers continue to have the best record and best run differential in the majors. They are 67-44, plus 119 after a 14-3 drubbing of the Nationals yesterday afternoon. The Brew Crew scoring 38 runs in this three-game sweep, their most runs over a three-game span in 26 seasons.
Just a bit outside.
Yesterday, though, began with some bad news when All-Star rookie righty Jacob Mizorowski went on the IL with a bruised shin after getting hit by a comebacker during his last start. He should, though, only miss 2 starts. Logan Henderson got the nod yesterday instead of pitching the previous night for AAA Nashville in Scranton. So we got the call late Saturday, had to hustle his way to this game and got some help. Maybe from an unlikely source.
Parents actually drove me. My dad and stepmom were in Scranton, and there were no flights available last night. So it was a full circle moment having my parents drive me here, and it was special.
Now, he had been in the
Orange
majors.
slices in the back seat.
He'd been in the majors before this season. This is not his debut. It just happened, though, that mom and stepdad were in town watching him pitch in AAA and could drive him from Pennsylvania to D.C. to pitch in this game yesterday.
That's pretty cool.
I just like looking at you right now.
I'm sorry. I was caught up on how to say Johan.
Yeah, not listening.
5 minutes on it.
Johan Duran.
Bro, you're acting like it's Giannis Antetokounmpo or something. It's not that hard.
Well, I have to record my sports minute in a minute, which are these little interstitial minutes we do. Do I have enough confidence that I can say it right? Do you guys think I should do a Johan Duran minute?
Johan. It's much easier than you're making it out to be.
Just phonetically write it down.
Say it, Manny.
Johan Duran.
Why don't you have Manny read your minute?
So you can.
That's not happening.
I think you can get away without the full Duran experience, but Johan is what you need to master. You got it.
Duran.
I don't think it's Johan.
It's
That's
not.
what Baseball Reference says.
It's Yoan.
Yeah,
Like,
not like Johan Santana.
Right. Like
Yoan.
Y-O-O-N.
Yoan.
Yoan. No H. Y-O-O-N.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I was with...
I feel like it's like Chris
Will.
Tucker and Jackie Chan who's like, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Rush Hour last week, too.
I do love that reference, but it's not like you knew how to say that guy's name.
I
Maggie.
don't, but I didn't make a sports minute about it.
Right, and we can hear the way Manny's saying, and you keep saying Johan.
Johan Duran.
Sorry, I've never caught it with Johan.
I don't know that name. Durantula. Isn't that what he wants to be known?
By the way, and I'm reading like nobody knows how to say this guy's name. It's been a major issue in Philadelphia sports.
Oh, it's Philadelphia. That's not surprising.
Well, have you ever another person with that name, EJ?
Johan?
Did he just say Johan, or am I imagining that?
It's the JH that's throwing people off.
Yes.
This is a comedy.
Yeah, this is Gringos 101
Yeah,
right here.
that's what hey, you said it.
I was just saying what everyone was thinking.
Unfortunately, I got to play this morning.
And the pitch swung on, hit high in the air, center field. It's deep. Veerling back at the track. It's gone. Kyle Schwarber with a towering solo home run just to the left of the batter's eye. Doubles the lead in the 8th. With his 38th home run of the season, it's 2-0 Phillies.
Scott Fransky on Phillies radio. The final 2-0 over the Tigers on Sunday Night Baseball. Christopher Sanchez went 8 for Philly, who jumps over the Mets again for first in the NL East. The Amazins 12-6 losers at home to the Giants. Let me balance out the good Phillies news by saying that Eagles wideout A.J. Brown did not practice yesterday because of a hamstring issue. D tackle Zach Seiler is now the Dolphins' highest paid defender through a 3-year extension that guarantees him $44 million. He's coming off back-to-back 10-sack seasons. And the NFLPA has hired an interim executive director 17 days after the embattled Lloyd Howell resigned. It is David White, who had the top job formerly at SAG-AFTRA, and he was the man who finished second to Howell in voting back in 2023. Inter Miami calling Messi's right leg injury from Saturday a minor muscle injury. His return to the pitch depends on how he responds to treatment. On Saturday, the Las Vegas Aces took a 53-point loss at home from the Lynx, the largest home loss in WNBA history. Back on the floor yesterday, they beat Golden State 101-77. Jewel Lloyd hit 7 threes to score 27. There was also a trade in the W yesterday. Those Lynx adding Dejanay Carrington from Dallas for 2 players and a 2027 second-round pick. Carrington averaging 10 points and 5 rebounds so far this season. She was the most improved player last season for Connecticut. Guys, back to you.
And did you guys also see there was another green
I saw that.
object thrown onto the court?
I didn't see that, but I saw that somebody got arrested for the initial one. I was going to
Arrested?
mention that this
Wow.
morning. Yeah, there's adult toy-shaped feet, not feet. They found that person. When did the second thing happen?
Over the weekend.
You got to get arrested for that, though.
If they can find you.
Yeah, they find you. You got to get arrested.
I wonder if anyone in Buffalo ever got arrested for throwing him
No,
on the
they don't have
field with
police
Tom
there.
Brady.
And
It was
it's
the
anarchy
police
up there.
that's actually throwing him out on the field.
Be nice to the Erie County Police Department, all right?
Or they will find you.
Yeah.
By the way, it should be easy to find this person. There's a million cameras in an arena. Like,
You think so, right?
To throw
In
a
every
bright
stadium.
green sex toy, I feel like you would notice that person on camera.
Still think it's a failure that no one found it on the way in. It's like, how are you guys not
Yeah, they gotta
finding
check-
these
check
things?
Well, you don't get,
That's
you get a
an-
pat down on the way into an NBA game?
No, you wouldn't get a pat down, but you're in a bag. Like, you would notice it. That can't fit in a pocket. Guys,
It could fit like
you can see it from the top angle. That's not some small thing.
you
Is it-
could. Sorry, go ahead.
Is it perhaps lodged in a place?
Well, that would just be gross.
You could strap it to your like thigh and
Careful.
walk in with it.
I'm not ordering a blow up doll. I mean, you're talking about some high profile, like that's someone had to really put some thought into it. You're gonna,
Yeah.
Okay.
People used to get octopi and into Red Wings games and catfish into Predators games.
That's
there's,
true.
There's creative thinking all the time.
Yeah, you could just sort of, I don't know, put it in something else. Like, yeah, it
What,
would
a
it would
Stanley?
it would set,
What
as far
do
as
you
I
mean? A Pringle
remember,
scan.
it would set off a metal detector.
No, it won't set off a metal detector. Penix has to also look really good. You can't generally bring bags into the arenas, or they have to be clear.
I
I'm
think
sorry,
you can
what's in your
now,
clear
right?
backpack?
You can.
Arenas.
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah,
Arenas,
I know because I'm always annoyed because I have to wait for somebody with a bag when I get my courtside Knicks tickets. I'm
Gotta-
like, don't you know who I am?
Go through the.
Reporter number 2.
Got to go through the clear. Got to go through clear. Use clear. Get right into skip the lines. That's what I do.
Anyway, another one of these things, and the same color. They basically glazed over everything.
Wait,
I'm
are
afraid
you
to Google this.
you doing this clear thing so you can sneak stuff in, sneak sex toys into games?
Me personally, no, I don't own any of those. But
Saying awfully suspicious behavior, Manny.
just in case.
I just got to get into the ballpark so I can have my whiskey.
I saw Sophie Cunningham.
Can't get it anywhere else.
Sophie Cunningham of the Fever tweeted. She just had a random Saturday morning. Stop throwing sex toys at the court, please.
Yeah.
Bright
Stadium.
green sex toy.
Yep.
Yeah, that is not something that you normally most athletes have to tweet, but
Is it one of those things where it's like funny at first, then the second one happens is not funny, and then like the third one will be funny again? But I don't think so. It's starting to get a little weird.
Happened Friday night, Valkyrie's Sky game.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
Chicago?
that's a one and done deal.
Yeah, I think
You don't have to do it a second time.
Was
It's
that
like,
in
what's going
Chicago
on?
or in California?
I believe Chicago.
Interesting.
Following the Valkyries?
Yeah, they were the victims in Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was a home game.
No, that was in Atlanta.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, because it was on that weird gray court they have there.
I got you.
Made
Where's
the
it?
green more visible, actually.
Where's their next game? They're doing it as the contrast.
there have been so many insane things said in the last 3 minutes.
Cat claims we should have, dumped all this.
Probably. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Thank you, Bogusch. Coming up, well, we've got next year's Football Hall of Fame class. Who's going to be the big snub? We'll tell you next. M&P
Bright
Stadium.
green sex toy.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Maggie Perloff Show. So glad to have you. Okay. Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame was this past weekend. We'll play again for you. Mary Kay Cabot absolutely taking down Bill Belichick in a line that was definitely decades in the making. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But Pearl, I don't know if people were a little underwhelmed by this year's class. I know you were a little underwhelmed by this year's class.
I was a lot underwhelmed because there was a bunch of guys who've been on the ballot forever.
Right, like the Sterling Sharps, who'd been on the ballot for 20 years.
Eric Allen's been on a long time, I believe.
Long time. Yeah. Obviously, Jared Allen, only 5 years, and the tight end, Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates was only 2 years. So you had a little bit of a mix there. But if you're looking at the 2026 class,
Go Chargers, go.
Drew Brees is now eligible along with Larry Fitzgerald. So I think they would be locks. And then Jason Witten and Frank Gore, Phillip Rivers were the next two before we get into the Marquise Pounceys and Todd Gurley's and such. Des Bryant also on this list.
Auntie, chill.
As far as first ballot Hall of Famer, I think Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald are definitely locks.
Definitely.
Jason Witten is a funny one because, Witten has numbers that are going to put him right there in terms of, most productive tight ends ever. But I think if you and I were out there in a sports bar talking to, sports fans, I don't think Jason Witten's name comes up when we talk about greatest tight ends of all time. We talk about Gronkowski and Tony Gonzalez. Kelsey now, I think, has made his way into a lot of conversations.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think most people, if he did like the Mount Rushmore, whatever it was of tight ends, I don't think Jason Witten cracks many people's top 4, top 5.
Well, yeah, but do you have to be
a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Do you have to be top 3 at a position to be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Obviously not. I mean, Jason Taylor was a first ballot defensive end. Nobody has him on the Mount Rushmore of pass rushers.
And I think people were surprised that he got in first ballot, to be honest.
People were surprised by Calvin Johnson, which surprised me. I'm like, Calvin Johnson is probably the best receiver I've ever seen with my own eyes. And people were shocked that he got in on his first ballot. I don't think it's like quite like baseball. It feels like there's a little more preciousness about the order of years. I mean, Witten a Hall of Famer? Obviously, yes. He's 4th all-time in receptions in the entire league. He's 2nd in receiving yards and receptions for tight end. He's an 11-time Pro Bowler. He's absolutely going to make it in. So I think some voters are going to be like, why are we going to wait? What's the point?
There's another question here. Yeah. I think you and I both believe Drew Brees would get in first ballot. Yeah. To be honest, though, Eli Manning did not. Now, I know Drew Brees' numbers and more consistent playoff quarterback. Obviously, Eli has the 2 runs to the Super Bowl, but outside of that, never won another playoff game. So it's this kind of like feast or famine, if you will, with Eli Manning in the postseason. But he did win 2, and he did have to put together unbelievable drives at the end of those games to win those games. The David Tyree catch and then the touchdown to Plaxico Burress in the first one, and then down the sideline to Mario Manningham in the second one. So should Drew Brees get in before Eli Manning
Oh my God,
does?
Definitely. 100%. First of all, like that one's not even close. Drew Brees took New Orleans to a Super Bowl after Katrina. It's one of the most meaningful Super Bowls in NFL history and just had sustained excellence forever. I mean, him and Brady were going back and forth for all-time leading passer. I mean, how many Pro Bowls did this guy have? And he won at such a high level where Eli only won those 2 years.
Yeah. No, I get it. I guess the passing yards to me, he's playing inside, and it's just the era. I don't know if I can do cumulative passing yards. He and Tom Brady kept going back and forth. But I would say Drew Brees, because he got to play in the Dome, was a lot easier than what Brady, Eli Manning, or any of the Green Bay quarterbacks had to do, having to play outside.
Okay. But, I mean, Peyton Manning, same problem.
But Peyton Manning was a 5-time MVP.
So, I mean, Drew Brees was an MVP, and he was in the same era. It was blowing away all those quarterbacks, including the indoor quarterback. A lot of it was Sean Payton, I'll give you that. But I think Drew Brees is one of the easiest first-timers we'll ever see.
What about Brady. But what about Phillip Rivers?
Now that's a debate.
Phillip Rivers getting in before Eli Manning. Would you have a problem with that?
I personally, I put Eli in, but I can see, Phillip Rivers was definitely a better quarterback.
The irony that, he ends up going to San Diego, Eli going to New York with that trade, and the Mannings deciding that Eli should go to New York. But I don't know if Phillip Rivers, who went to one AFC championship game. Now, listen, also played through a torn ACL, in a playoff game, but Eli was really tough also. I think Eli has to get in before Phillip Rivers because it's it's not the sustained excellence in the postseason like Drew Brees had.
No.
It's a different kind of calculus.
The story of Philip Rivers' career is great regular season, came up short, in part because he faced a lot of Bill Belichick in the playoffs. But, I mean, again, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, so you could argue why wait. If Eli had gotten in this year as he should have, then Philip Rivers, I think, would have gotten in. I agree with you. I think Philip Rivers has to take a back seat, and Eli gets in first, and then Rivers next year or the year after that for sure. But I honestly, I think, and another one named Frank Gore. I think Frank Gore is third all time in rushing, or third or fourth. He's definitely getting in too. I wouldn't be surprised if this next year went with Brees, Fitzgerald, Witten, Eli, and then if Frank Gore snuck in there.
But what about all the other guys who are waiting to get in? The Torrey Holtz and stuff like that, guys who've been waiting such a long time.
I don't know if any of them are in there last year, but if they passed on Torrey Holt this year, why would they not pass on him for a better class?
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. I think the question is, do you think of Jason Witten as being a first ballot Hall of Famer? And Drew Brees, maybe Philip Rivers getting in before Eli Manning. Would you have a problem with that?
Man, Witten's numbers are just they're overwhelming. And, they sit in that room where the 50 voter, I don't know how many voters it is. I could make a really great Jason. And also Jason Witten, yes, he's not what Gronk was and he's not what Kelsey was. But I think he's very positively viewed. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, Jason Witten can play.
Yeah, but I would counter that if you're doing a Mount Rushmore, if you will, of greatest tight ends of all time, I think you're getting to Gronk, Kelsey, Tony Gonzalez, like without even really having to sit down and think about it. And then that fourth spot, I don't think is a no-brainer Jason Witten at all.
I don't know if you need to be on the Rushmore to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, it's a big Hall of Fame.
It's true. Supposed to be selective, though. 888-710-4ISN. I'm not saying he shouldn't get in at all.
Drew Brees isn't on Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I know. Is Drew Brees first ballot? He will be. I know he will be.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Gonna be honest, was expecting a lot more from this Browns quarterback competition than what we've got so far. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. What started off as something very interesting, intriguing, Pearl. You had a former first-round cast-off. You have a former Super Bowl MVP kind of on his last legs, and then two rookies, including one is the son of Deion Sanders, the other high-profile and prolific college career, and this has kind of become a dud because...
You think it's bad now. Wait till October.
Well, then the team's just going to be losing, and then we actually, I would think the team may be losing, and then we're going to be able to see the rookies play, and then we'll see what the Browns are planning to do with two high draft picks potentially next season and with a robust quarterback class. But so far, Kenny Pickett has gotten an injured hamstring. Joe Flacco's Joe Flacco. Dylan Gabriel has been very up and down, and Shedeur Sanders had to take himself out of practice on Saturday because of a sore shoulder. This is not the neck-and-neck competition I was expecting.
Well, I mean, the Browns came out and in so many words told you there's nothing neck-and-neck about this. Shedeur is not going to sniff. I mean, they've not given him any first-team offense, and we're already almost 2 weeks into camp, so it doesn't feel like they were viewing it that way. If the only way that there would be any sizzle to this is if Shedeur Sanders started at quarterback. Like, what else would you expect? Like, Kenny Pickett wouldn't be interesting. Joe Flacco wouldn't be interesting.
No.
Dylan Gabriel would be interesting, but not like Shedeur. Basically, what you were saying is I need Shedeur to be in here.
Well, because it was shocking when they took him because he was falling into the 5th round. They had already taken Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. So you kind of think, all right, with Kenny Pickett, Flacco, and now Dylan Gabriel, you're probably set at quarterback, and then out of nowhere they take Shedeur. The implications that the owner may have been involved, and then more implications, Pearl, from the owner even more recently. The fact that they do want to see both of the rookies play before they determine what they do next year. So kind of, I saw one person write, when you're talking about 2026 and it's August of 2025, that's probably a terrible sign of what you think for the upcoming season. But we are going to see both of these guys eventually. I fully believe that. But if Shedeur is going to have a sore shoulder, then I don't know what you do about that.
Well, I mean, they have a real serious problem here. They have 4 quarterbacks that they want to keep. And I don't know how their roster can handle that. They cannot put Shedeur Sanders on the practice squad because I think he's shown enough in camp where he would be signed by somebody else. Being on the practice squad makes you a free agent.
Yep.
I don't think they can do that. So they have to figure out a way. And I'm thinking with Kenny Pickett injured and Shedeur possibly having an arm issue, he might be totally fine today. We have no idea. Then maybe they find a way to put somebody on injured reserve. That might be a solution.
Is there a possibility? I'm not saying that Shedeur is not trying to compete here, but do you see how this is going? The fact that you just said Dylan Gabriel's getting all the first team reps, right? Shedeur's not getting any, even if he has, shown some accuracy and some things like that. It's not impossible to see the talent. We all watched him in college. But is it possible that Shedeur doesn't want to push himself necessarily to play through pain here?
Yeah.
Because he realizes I'm not winning this quarterback battle anyway because I never had a shot at it.
Well, I didn't think about it like that. I thought about it like, that's kind of smart. If you're a quarterback and your arm doesn't feel right, you definitely don't want to make that worse. So I think it's a smart move.
You're on a quarterback battle. Like, we also expect quarterbacks to be tough. We expect quarterbacks to play through stuff. And it's like, I'm not questioning that he's hurt. I'm just saying there's a difference between hurt and injured. They always say that in the NFL.
It's like a pitcher. I mean, his arm is his main tool here. No, I don't think there's any possibility because I saw him get blown up so many times at Colorado and get right back up.
Sure.
Dude's tough as all get out. I don't think it's a pain tolerance thing for your arm. Like if his arm and shoulder are sore, then that's a real issue because you might get some kind of dead arm or that sounds really scary. But he'll probably be fine. We're probably making a mountain of a molehill. The real issue is they have not even given him a sniff of a chance here. And the first game is Friday. I hope he's in that because I really want to see him, even if it's against 4-teamers and it doesn't mean anything. It's the second half of a preseason game. I really, more than anything this preseason, I want to see Shedeur Sanders take some snaps.
Well, listen, we watched Trey Lance in the Hall of Fame game. It was like, wow, look at Trey Lance. And he was playing against backups and backups of backups. And we know that it means nothing, but, he looked like he had put some touch on the ball. So
yeah. And I saw some people with this take that Shedeur Sanders lights up for games and he might not overwhelm you in practice, but at Colorado, when the lights were brightest, he had some really big moments.
Yep.
And again, I think you kind of nailed it. It's so weird that he fell in the 5th round. Like this entire conversation started with a draft mystery. The Browns were reportedly thinking about taking him already in the 1st round, and the Steelers were going to take him, and all these teams, the Giants were linked to him.
Raiders.
Yeah, were linked to Shedeur, and then he could have easily, in our minds at least, been a 1st-round pick and probably starting week 1. Instead, he's a 5th-round pick who's a 4th stringer on a team that's tanking. The whole thing is bizarre, and it keeps getting more bizarre.
Yeah, I just always can't help but wonder if everything is a test when it comes to Shedeur and the Browns, right? Like, is every part of this a test? Because it's like, how are you with your teammates, the playbook, all of that, but, they were very upset about the speeding tickets. Obviously, that was a negative. Everything, you're being judged by every little thing, and the fact that he took himself out of practice because his arm is sore. Again, I'm not questioning how hurt he is, but if you're not injured and you do take yourself out, is he going to be judged on that by the Browns?
In a positive or a negative way?
In a negative way.
Oh, God. No, I don't think. I mean, can you imagine a pitcher who feels a twinge in his elbow and didn't tell the team? That would be really bad. I think if it really is his arm, I would think you want to. I think a lot of quarterbacks who are immature would fight through that. You got to tell the trainer immediately if you feel something in your shoulder. This is a quarterback. I mean, if you were to try and fake it, you're saying he's faking it because he doesn't want to be forced string anymore.
No, I'm not saying faking. Yeah. I'm just saying pushing through something. Is this still, is he being judged on that? I have no idea. Honestly, don't want him to get, and again, I'm not questioning his toughness. He is a tough guy. I just also wonder if he sees, why would I push through this when I'm buried on the depth chart? If he was the number one, if he was the starter in QB1, do you think he'd still be out there with a sore arm?
God, I hope not. I mean, that would be even more important for him to tell. Be sore arm.
Yeah.
That's really, really scary. And there was a report yesterday that they're not sure yet whether they're going to give him an MRI. The second you put an MRI machine on a quarterback's shoulder, this is scary time. So we'll see. Maybe he's fine. If they give him an MRI, if they think it's serious enough to put him in that machine, then we have a real story. I don't think there's any chance it's a pain tolerance issue.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. What started as a very interesting quarterback competition has become way less interesting. If Kenny Pickett has a hamstring, Shedeur Sanders has a shoulder, Dylan Gabriel hasn't been that great, and Joe Flacco we've been watching for literally 2 decades.
Well, I still think they want Kenny Pickett, and Pickett can't get back because of his hamstring. I'm curious if they'll just pigeonhole him to say, you know what, we're going to go with Pickett anyway. Have you gotten that sense at all that there is sort of a Kenny Pickett love in Cleveland?
I never knew, though, if that was because they really love Pickett or they thought there maybe was some trade value if he played well and someone else got hurt on another team.
But they just traded for him.
Or if they felt like, all right, Pickett can start the season for us and Flacco will bring us home. I don't know. I have no idea what the Browns are thinking. All I know is that I don't think any of these options are going to end up being the long term.
I think they want Pickett to start the season because he's more mobile and he could sort of help the O-line and there's more upside. If that failed, then either you go to Flacco early on or you do the tryouts for the rookies, which will come, I guess, week 10 through week 18 if they're out of the playoffs. That'll be tryout time, right? You might as well call that. Here's your rehearsal for next year, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And by the way, I think they have no chance to pass that rehearsal. None. If they're a bad team and they have a high draft pick, how is a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick going to beat out Cade Klubnik or whoever?
I don't know either, but all I know is Shedeur's not your average 5th round pick. I don't know about Dylan Gabriel.
But you might have been wrong about that. Maybe he is your average 5th round pick. They're treating him like your average 5th round pick.
That's true. 888-710-4ISN, but he's not getting that kind of attention. Yeah, EJ.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that he may be your average 5th round pick in terms of talent. That we won't know until we actually see him play or maybe not play. We do know he's not in any way in terms of level of fame, level of attention, level of
buzz,
interest.
Yeah.
He's not.
You just said that's the only thing you want to watch in the preseason.
I totally agree with that. But have they done anything in camp that isn't like a normal 5th round pick?
No.
I mean, they've, and I wonder how the NFL views them. What if they did put Shedeur Sanders on the practice squad? Would 30 teams line up to take him?
I don't know about 30, but I think a few for sure. I already told you where I think he would be. Who would be interested, in my opinion, was Miami. Because Tua, health concerns all the time. And then you've got Zach Wilson behind him, so another reclamation project. And then I think Shedeur would be,
I think they have Quinn Ewers, and they like him. Again, all these teams pass on. My only argument is like they all had a shot at Shedeur. They didn't want him the last time.
Didn't make a lot of sense. That's what I'm saying. It was about not football to me.
Maybe there's more football than we understood.
I don't know about that. 888-710-4ISN. So we got Shedeur Sanders' shoulder, him taking himself out of practice on Saturday with some soreness. That's a story for you that's on the front burner. And also Micah Parsons' trade request, Pearl, which obviously, I think some people just sort of rolled their eyes at it like, oh, this happens all the time. This actually doesn't, though. They don't, usually guys don't ask for the trade from the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. They want to hold out. They want their money. But the trade request doesn't usually come in. And then on top of it, this has actually gotten bizarrely personal. And I think Jerry is certainly misplaying this. And everyone says, oh, it's business, it's business. Well, I got to be honest, Terry McLaurin and the Commanders, that feels like just business. James Cook now and the Bills, that feels like just business. Let's look at the couple things that have happened between Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones. Jerry saying he had no idea who his agent was, forgetting his name. That's just a clear shot. He obviously knows his name. Secondly, saying, hey, I don't even know if he's going to live up to this contract because he could get hurt. That's a shot.
Facts.
And then the third, which is basically comparing him to Des Bryant when he said, I talked to Des Bryant's agent at the time. It was Jay-Z. Jay-Z told me he'd never be late for a meeting or, this, that, and the other. And Jay-Z never returned my phone calls after that.
I don't know his name.
But why is that?
Kind of implying that Micah Parsons is going to be a headache once he signs the contract.
Well, he's saying his agent was a headache.
No. He's saying Des was the headache. And when he called Jay-Z to say, hey, your guy's not showing up to meetings on time, Jay-Z wouldn't return his phone call.
Oh, I thought Jay-Z was the one who wasn't showing up to meetings.
No.
So he made a deal with Jay-Z. Then the deal fell through because Jay-Z wouldn't call him back, right?
Where? Let's listen to it, man. Let's play it.
Help me out here.
This is Jay-Z. This is Jerry Jones talking about the Micah Parsons deal, but now invokes going back to Des Bryant and how he worked out a deal between Des and Dez's agent, Jay-Z, and you be the judge.
When we have a problem within a team and a player, I don't ever find the agent. He's nowhere to be found. Okay? Jay-Z said that Micah would make all, I'm not Micah, but that Dez would make all meetings. Jay-Z and I negotiated the contract. We spent hours negotiating the contract, Jay-Z. And he said, anybody in my organization is on time. He said, my office used to be on the street corner, and I've always been early. So they will be on time. I said, where did I sign? But I'm going to call you. Finally, he quit taking my call.
See, you get that.
Got it. So wait, Dez wasn't missing the contract negotiations. He was missing
meetings,
like team meetings.
Yes, and
okay. So
Jerry is saying, when Dez started missing meetings, I'm calling Jay-Z saying, hey, you told me your guy wasn't going to be a problem, and Jay-Z was nowhere to be found.
So his point was agents are unreliable, and that's why he goes straight to the player. That was the point Jerry was trying to make.
Well, but the point that I think how it gets misconstrued, and this is Jerry's own fault, is kind of implying that we're going to have a problem with Micah. And when I go to when I try to resolve it with the agent, they're nowhere to be found. So I've got to resolve it with the player.
Right.
Why do you assume that Micah's going to be a problem? Why don't you assume he's going to be a model, captain for you?
I think that's a bit of a stretch in the sense that he was trying to hammer home the point of why he has this old school technique of going around the agent. You're right. He kind of stepped into it by comparing Dez Bryant in that situation to Micah Parsons. But what he was trying to say was agents are unreliable. I want to deal directly with the players, which is, of course, ridiculous in the year 2025. That means he wants to try to rip off the players, and players, there's no way in a million years Micah Parsons was going to fall for that. Be like, oh, yeah, you're right, Jerry. I'll just sign here. There's no way that was happening.
He tried. He's still trying to hold him to some meeting they had in March about leadership that all of a sudden Jerry tried to turn into a contract negotiation. And you know what? Players shouldn't be amazing at negotiating because that's not their job. Their job's to play football. That's why you have representation.
I do think there are some players who don't want an agent because there's a bit of a fee there and do a great job. There are some players who've done nice jobs with their own contracts, especially the rookie deals that are already slotted. All you need is a lawyer. But, yeah, this particular situation where it gets contentious, just this idea that Jerry was going to get around David Mulugheta, and it was unbelievable. It's silly, right? I mean, Jerry is out there still trying to argue for this is why we all laugh at Jerry.
Yeah, not laughing with him, laughing at him. Hey, look who we have on the line. It's been a minute. Our pal Big Dave in Kentucky, the warden himself. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, guys, to you and yours. How the hell are you?
How's your summer been, pal?
Hey, it's been great. No complaints. I mean, having a great summer and
you could be complaining because Jerry Jones is trying to ruin your summer.
Oh, listen, Jerry Jones is making my summer because I could care less. It's nothing but entertainment value from the Cowboys. For me now, McLovin, I would like to come on this morning and agree with you 100%.
Yes.
I think the best thing that could happen would be for your Philadelphia Eagles to reel in Micah Parsons. Because let me tell you why. I'll put aside the fact that even though he's a phenomenal pass rusher, he's really a one-trick pony defensively. He's not a great run stopper. But, Micah loves the microphone. Your Philadelphia Eagles run a pretty taut ship, pretty buttoned down, great organization. What they need is Micah Parsons to come in and look for a microphone every 10 minutes and upset the apple cart. I think that's a perfect solution. I tell you one thing that I would have the league got buried here. Who wouldn't have wanted to have been a fly on the wall with Jay-Z and Jerry Jones in a room somewhere? I mean, could you imagine that conversation?
Well, I think this whole point was Jerry wanted to get on the microphone and say, I got to hang out with Jay-Z. I think that's the whole point of this story, not what Maggie said. I think Jerry's bragging here.
I don't understand.
I agree 100%. But listen,
these Rock Nation statements are not doing what they think they're doing.
Let's not act like Micah Parsons is the model citizen. I mean, Micah Parsons has had something to say. I mean, he's had something to say about everything that's happened within that organization over the last year. And don't get me wrong, Jerry Jones is king clown. I mean, we all know that. But it's just Micah Parsons is kind of a spinoff of Jerry Jones from a player's perspective. He loves the microphone. He's not been a model citizen. So I've just got my popcorn and I'm watching this all play out and wait for my Bengals to win the AFC North this year.
Yeah, I forgot that you jumped on the Bengals bandwagon. Close by Kentucky, so it makes a little bit of sense.
Wait.
But no, I love, Dave, that Micah Parsons should go to the Eagles, but be like a saboteur, because he would be the guy who finally gets the Eagles like culture, messes up the Eagles culture.
I'm sorry, Dave. I just picturing him running after the quarterback at 4.4 speed. You're telling me that wouldn't be good for the Eagles? They do run a tight ship. It's like the Patriots. They could take in a Micah Parsons. By the way, Maggie's Bills could also. They have a really strong locker room.
Yeah, I don't think
they
have
could
any
take
money.
in Micah Parsons as well. What do you think of that fit, Dave?
That's pretty interesting. Y'all understand what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
You understand this is all nothing but a bunch of bluster. That the deal is going to get done, and Micah Parsons is not going anywhere.
Hey,
that's where
Dave,
this is going.
It's been a minute since we've had you on the phone. Can I ask you a question I've always been meaning to ask you? So you were the warden, associate warden, right? You told us for a long time in your life, and I got a little into some of these true crime documentaries that they have on Netflix and such. Did you ever have any really high-profile criminals in any of the prisons that you worked in?
Yes, certainly did. And I can't say a lot, but do you guys remember, y'all are more younger than me, obviously, but do y'all remember the D.C. shooter?
Yeah, I lived in D.C. at that time. It was so scary.
That wasn't that long ago, yeah.
No, wait a minute. Now, I'm not talking about the sniper. I'm not talking about
sorry.
The guy, the cap that shot and killed a couple of Capitol police officers. This would have been probably 96, 97, somewhere in there. You guys remember that? Maybe not. Anyway, it was a big deal at the time. But yes, I was actually sent to D.C. to do an audit, to perform an audit on their facility, on their jail up there. And they had this guy in there, and it was really a big deal. It had a Kevlar lined cell for this guy, and it was really a big deal. I've had a few through the years, multiple murderers and things like that. We have one guy, man, that, and he wasn't from Kentucky originally. Y'all have to understand, like, the last several years, well, half of my career was actually in the public sector. Worked for the Kentucky Department of Corrections for years. I actually went over to the public sector, traveled around, even though I was associate warden, actually warden for a while. Went around, audited, prepared facilities for opening and things like that. So I saw it dealt with a lot of different characters. I have one guy that was such a con artist back in the day. This guy, you talk about people being able to get robbed over the phone. This guy, we ended up taking him to Idaho in a prisoner train because he was he could take a payphone and rob anyone. The guy was brilliant, come from a very affluent family, but he was just a career criminal who had scammed people out of millions of dollars.
Oh, my gosh, Dave. Well, thank you for that. Great to talk with you. Glad to hear the summer's going well. Yeah, I'm always interested in that. I have I don't know anything about prisons. I'm very, I have no knowledge in that area.
Thank goodness, Maggie.
Well, I'm hoping to keep it that way. But, Dave has obviously seen all so many different things and these high profile criminals. And stuff.
I know a little because I've seen a lot of shows and movies. Does that count?
Yeah, I don't like to watch prison shows. They're depressing.
Oz on
no
HBO.
Shot.
There was a comedy called Let's Go to Prison with Will Arnett that was hysterical. Did you guys ever see the one where Kevin Hart gets Will Ferrell ready for prison?
No.
Oh, yes. It's fantastic. I can't even remember what it's called.
The other guys?
No, that's Mark Wahlberg. It's Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell.
Get hard.
Yeah. It's basically they prepare Will
you
Ferrell.
Just shouted that out.
It is. Kevin Hart has done about 1,000 movies in the last 6 years?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's incredible.
Maybe 1,001.
Yeah, if you want to know what prison is like, you should watch this Will Ferrell, Kevin Hart vehicle called Get Hard.
Well,
it's actually a documentary.
Yeah, right. I've seen Shawshank Redemption about 100 times.
No, it's more of Will Ferrell getting his hair braided so he can get ready for prison.
Oh, good grief. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay, an update on Bill Belichick? You betcha. Do it next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
was tight, the crowd was loud. Then Judge went down, ain't no cheers now. Flex restrained, they said real low, like a punch straight through my radio. Manny Rodriguez sitting third row, with his Judge jersey and his heart broke slow. He stood up once, then he sat back down, poured that pain till he couldn't hear the sound. Now he's blackout drunk in a parking lot bar, talking to ghosts and cussing at the stars. Why'd you take my hero? What did he do? Whiskey on his lips, Yankee tears in his boots. Bartender said, son, it's just a game, but to Manny it's blood running through his veins. So pour one more shot and leave on the line for the kid who lost hope when we lost 99. Shortstop in a little league town, swung like Judge, always dreaming big now. Had the poster, had the swing, hell, he even rocked that pinky ring. But the Bronx felt cold when Judge went down. Man, he just drifted to another round, talking like Judge was a brother he knew, swearing he felt that pain too. Now he's blackout drunk in a parking lot bar, talking to ghosts and cussing at the stars. Why'd you take my hero? What did he do? Whiskey on his lips, Yankee tears in his boots. Bartender said, son, it's just a game, but to Manny it's blood running through his veins. So pour one more shot and leave on the line for the kid who lost hope when we lost 99. Played shortstop in a little league town, swung like Judge, always dreaming big now. Had the poster, had the swing, hell, he even rocked that pinky ring. But the Bronx felt cold when Judge went down. Man, he just drifted to another round, talking like Judge was a brother he knew, swearing he felt that pain too. Maybe tomorrow he'll find his way home, but tonight, that pinstripe heart's alone, and the world just don't feel right. When your hero's down and out for the fight. Yeah, he's blackout drunk in a parking lot bar, praying that rehab ain't too far. Come back soon, Judge, we need you back. Man, he's got no tears left to be had. He don't want pity, don't want no sign, just wants his hero back in that life. So pull one more shot and leave on the line till we rise again with our 99. Well, man, he strolls in with a grin on his face, Yankee pinstripes all over the place, but his chest is out like he's on the beach. Moist pork yells, button up, you creep. Oh, Manny, button your jersey. You ain't A-Rod, stop trying to be flirty. It's not a runway, it's the Bronx, my guy. Even Derek had his top button tied. Now Moist pork sweating, pacing the floor. He can't take one more, man, need decor. The buttons exist for a reason, son. You ain't playing shirtless till this game is won. Meanwhile, Bellatti's nowhere to be found. Called out again, that's the 8th go-round. He's dumping something, the clubhouse groans, probably dumping us on speakerphone. Oh, Manny, button your jersey. You make Joe Torre roll over and curse me.
15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Oh. Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. And you might ask why we're hungry like a wolf today. It's because we were talking about the name Duran. I actually stole this joke from our friend Mike Sealski of the Philadelphia Inquirer. Said there's a Duran ranking in Philadelphia. It goes Roberto number 3, Johan number 2, and Duran number 1.
Plus Duran's so popular in Philadelphia.
Well, it's just a funny joke that there were 3 people named Duran, but apparently it's Duran. And everybody here has been making fun of me because I had trouble pronouncing his name. It's been a thing in Philly, by the way. A lot of sports talk radio people have been having trouble as well because it's spelled Jhoan, and we're used to John. I'll tell you one thing: that guy can throw a baseball about 1,000 miles an hour.
Johan, that clock still reads 103.
and he throws a breaking ball at 98. I'm like,
doesn't make sense.
Is this real? Anyway,
check him for the spider tack.
Remember when sliders were supposed to be 82 miles an hour? Not anymore, baby.
Well, his elbow's about to explode, but hopefully not anytime soon. Also, Girls on Film, better song than Hungry Like the Wolf.
Okay.
Well.
Ooh, hot take.
Yeah, hot take. Hot take. No one really is bringing up a lot lately.
I think we should put it
from Maggie this
back
morning.
to the top.
By the way, I don't actually know which one is which. Was that Hungry Like a Wolf or Girls on Film?
Hungry Like a Wolf.
Do you know that they also sang the song Notorious, which then Notorious B.I.G. ended up turning into his song, Notorious?
Oh, I
They
did not
just
know
stole
that.
it from Duran.
Notorious.
Yeah.
I actually had a
Notorious
conversation.
song.
This is bizarre. Last week, I had a conversation with Duran, the original boy band. I'm like, no, Duran, wrote their own songs. It was a big band, but I guess the ladies did like Duran.
Speaking of boy bands, did you notice that's where Luka Doncic and the Lakers, immediately after signing the 3-year, $168 million contract, the first stop was Las Vegas for a Backstreet Boys concert.
Oh, yeah, they're doing a big tour, right? Or not tour, but they're doing a big show at the Sphere. Yeah,
I heard
Ricky's going to that.
I heard that the Backstreet Boys were huge in Slovenia.
Is that? Did
They
he
were
grow up
huge
with the band?
everywhere, Manny.
Manny's joking, I think, right?
I have no intel on that. Knowledge.
I bet they were big.
They definitely
so they're
probably
big
were.
everywhere. I'm serious. I think
But
they're big
Luka missed them by a good 10 years,
Yeah,
right?
Luka's like my age. I barely remember the Backstreet Boys.
Which one is? Sorry, I'm so bad at this. Which one? Who is in the Backstreet Boys? Who's the star?
Nick Carter.
Not Justin Timberlake.
Lance Bass, right?
Nope.
No.
No,
Not Justin Timberlake or Lance Bass.
I don't remember the other guys. Nick Carter is he's the main guy.
Joey Fatone's in what?
NSYNC.
Okay.
Ironically, though, I still say you want a hot take. Backstreet Boys better than NSYNC.
Ooh.
So
No idea who the members are, but
they're nicer. I only know one of their members, but they're nicer.
Backstreet Boys rose to fame in 1996.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
Which was
So long
3
ago.
years before Luka Doncic was born.
ouch, that hurt.
That was a year before I was born.
They're kind of the OGs.
That didn't help.
Are they the first big boy band?
No, New Kids.
Oh, New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, and Menudo. I mean, long
Yeah.
before Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
And yeah, New Edition.
Yeah, New Edition.
Well,
Bobby
then
Brown,
we got
definitely.
it. Yeah, but to me, New Edition and Boyz II Men are musical cut above.
We
Backstreet
had this
Boys.
conversation before about whether they're boy bands or not.
Yeah, they're boy band. If you actually can perform music, to me, you're not a boy band. You're like.
Oh, like if you
You're
can
like
sing
the
a
legit.
cappella, like
boy
Boyz II
bands
Men.
were they were just actors put together to pretend to be a band. That's how I view it. I'm sorry.
They were cast.
They were cast. They were like, we need the cute one, we need the tall one, we need the emotional one,
And the one that can actually sing.
Who was your favorite, Maggie?
I was New Kids. Was like, yeah, not to age myself,
Oh,
but
boy.
New Kids on the Block, and then after that, probably I did like Backstreet Boys. Probably NSYNC.
New
I
Kids
don't
was
know.
Donnie Wahlberg.
Yes, I know.
Wow.
And Jordan and Joey and all of them.
Michael Jordan?
Well, they were 89 and Backstreet Boys was 96. They weren't that far apart.
No, they weren't. But
Yeah.
but I was.
Right, and also like
Where
Backstreet.
I was far
Yeah,
apart.
and they needed a New Kids, so that's why you had Backstreet Boys. They all followed New Kids
Oh, so New Kids was the OG.
in that specific genre. Yes.
By the time '96 came around, I had already graduated to like Wu-Tang.
Oh,
it was
shoot.
very
Oh.
not like the Backstreet Boys.
All right.
Very Binghamton of you.
Yeah, isn't it?
I would love to put together a boy band quiz for Maggie, like just like facts about the different. But you actually missed all of these.
No, I think I would probably be pretty good at. I think Bogusch and I probably together would be good because it's the same era.
When's your cutoff, though? Like One Direction. Do you know anything about them? That's a boy band that was rather recent.
No, I don't.
That's too recent.
Yeah.
I bought New Kids CDs.
yeah,
I didn't.
stuff.
I had no time for
Compact
Backstreet Boys
discs?
and those guys.
Compact discs?
Hey, by the way,
Maybe
did
even cassettes.
Whoa.
yeah,
Oh, my
cassettes.
goodness.
Did you see your guy Dave Matthews over the weekend?
Of course I did.
Where was he now?
No, not
Montana.
playing music. He stopped a show because two guys were having a fight in the front row.
Yeah.
He goes, "I will not play another note."
It was Bogusch and Ackerman.
Listen.
In Wyoming? Is that where it was?
If I had heard Ack was going to the same show in Montana that I was going to, the fight would happen long before we got to Montana.
It's not happening at the Bozeman airport.
But yeah, it was like 3 lines into my favorite song starting the show, and dudes were fighting. He was like, get out.
Kicked them both out.
Yep.
Is that the song that I have downloaded here? Pig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, who fights at a Dave Matthews Band
Who
concert?
fights at the Wildlands Festival in Montana where you're probably high all day long? What are you,
Speaking of being
what are
high,
you fighting over?
did you guys see Le'Veon Bell? Man, this guy, the former running back, on Twitter was hilarious. He said his tweet was something like, I got to stop taking edibles. I just tried to buckle my seatbelt sitting on a toilet.
Yes.
Wow.
Nice. Sounds like college.
What?
It sounds like you after that Yankee game. That was 2 Sundays ago.
College.
That's where he got the idea.
Yeah, did Manny go to grad school? I don't think so.
No,
Post-grad?
No, Manny did not go to grad school.
You're not working on multiple degrees?
Oh,
I don't think so.
barely got
Bogusch
one.
has the latest headlines for us. What's up?
Maggie, a question for you. Did the Buffalo Bills season end this weekend? Probably
Go
not,
Bills.
but it was not a great 72 hours. First, wideout Khalil Shakur suffered a high ankle sprain Friday night. He's now week to week. Then yesterday, James Cook sat out practice for the first time amid his push for an extension, saying it's just business to multiple questions about the situation. An update this morning from GM Brandon Beane on WGR Radio.
It takes 2, and both sides have to agree on what that number is, and obviously that hasn't gotten there. But I'm not sitting here saying you don't pay running backs. I think you just have to find what the sweet spot is.
No sweet spot yet for these two, but here comes the drama finally.
Joe and Jeremy this
You know
morning?
what? I was, I know this is weird. I was kind of encouraged by this because there was a report that came out they're not that far apart, and he has been practicing this whole time. So I'm like, all right, this is just the final little bit. But I'm sure it's going to be all over
Feels
Hard
that way.
Knocks. I'm sure it's going to be like a main storyline for, I think Hard Knocks debuts tomorrow.
But I think you're right, though. You get vibes about how these things are going. We've been talking about the bad vibe with Micah Parsons. This feels like a business. Like
Like
they're
Taylor
just
McLaurin hasn't
negotiating.
practiced once. Like he's shown up, but
Yeah.
he hasn't actually been on the practice field. James Cook's been out there the whole time
Right,
practicing
but-
until today, until
But
yesterday.
maybe because things are going in the wrong direction now, is why he didn't go on the field.
Yeah, I guess I hope that they're close. They need him. I think that he's a really big part of what they do.
I gotta tell
They've
you-
also already drafted his replacement, but they do need him.
If Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley didn't do what they did last year, you might be saying don't give in to the running back because they're totally generic. It feels like now you have to pay the running back, and James Cook was everything to them last year. He was arguably almost as big a deal as Josh Allen. Not quite, but he was a huge part of that offense.
Yeah, definitely not as big as Josh Allen, but he's important. He is, and
Yeah.
he knows it. But they do have Ray Davis. I don't know. They drafted his replacement basically.
Late last night, the NFLPA picked David White as their interim executive director, a little more than 2 weeks after Lloyd Howell resigned amid multiple accusations. White was the head person at SAG-AFTRA from 2009 through 21, so he has plenty of labor experience. He was also the other finalist when Howell got the job 2 years ago. Baseball's first Speedway Classic became a 2-day event this weekend. Heavy rains prevented the game from playing for more than an inning at Bristol Motor Speedway Saturday night.
That's baseball.
So the Reds and Braves came back yesterday afternoon, Atlanta winning 4-2. But maybe the entire experience was a disaster. The downpours certainly get part of the blame for this, but fans reported that organizers were not ready for the storms in any way. The fan zone was too crowded. Food and drink ran out. And some people might have had seats that could not see the field.
Oh, man.
They ran out of food?
I mean, this is a venue that hosts, I think, 100,000 people for a
Something like that.
NASCAR race. They should know how to handle all of these people eating the max amount of things because they are stuck inside because it's pouring.
Including a rain delay, they should be able to handle, right? Because
Yeah.
NASCAR has delays all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, all this stuff feels like it could have been handled.
Definitely.
The other part too is all of these like alternate venue things for baseball seem like they've been such a huge hit. No pun intended.
Yes.
All the ones in Iowa and the cornfield.
The Little League Classics and whatnot that are played.
They all seem like they're just like
Games in Mexico.
gangbusters. And then all of a sudden, this one just is a disaster because they ran out of beer.
And this looked great. I mean, the execution of the stadium looked cool. Hitting the home run yesterday went like bounce on the track.
That was cool.
It looked fun. I just don't understand, like, could baseball have been dumb enough to, like, force their way in and not let the normal track people, like, run things?
I don't know why.
Like, the track people, they would know what to order. They'd know how to staff it. They'd know how to, what this needs to be open, that needs to be open, like, to prevent lines from forming. How could they get so far off, like, the correct logistics?
Oh, I think they do, because I went to the London series, and it was no question that it was Major League Baseball running it and not, I think that would have been West Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, West Ham Stadium. They were the ones who because it was similar things. Like, the lines were ridiculous. Like, they definitely are, what they do is I believe they hire, like, just locals for a weekend and say, hey, you want to make some extra money, come and do this, and maybe they train them for X amount of time. That's how it was in London, at least. And that was a rough experience. I remember I watched the Mets. Thank God I didn't watch, but there was an inning where the Phillies must have scored 8 runs, and I missed the entire inning because I was online waiting for a hot dog. Like,
wow.
That's
so
the thing
crazy.
they have a problem
Usually,
with.
I thought the arenas are staffed. So, like, you're selling chicken tenders and fries, whether it's the Laker game or whether Duran's in town.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's by the way.
Call back there.
If you just tuned in, we were talking about Duran earlier. That is not the example Maggie usually uses.
This is top of mind.
But she's right, though. Like that, like this, the stadium staff is the stadium staff.
Yeah, weird.
But also, right, like, don't you bring in things like that? Like, isn't part of the deal so you can make the concessions?
Of course. Like this, I don't know how, because the rain affects plans for sure. Because people are not in their seats, they're bored, they've got to go inside. Oh, I'm standing here, I'm going to drink more beer, I'm going to get an extra hot dog. So I got, like, to a certain extent, I get why things might have run out. But, like, apparently enough stands weren't open. So there were lines for everything. Things were not spaced out correctly. It's just like they completely punted on smarts.
Back to the cornfield.
Yeah. It's already been mentioned this morning that the Yankees got swept by the Marlins this weekend.
Yes.
First time ever that Miami has swept the Bombers. But the win also gets the Marlins back to the 500 mark for the first time since mid-April. A reminder that a man named Clayton McCullough manages that team.
All facets today played very well, and guys in there excited. They should. They played another good game and earned that sweep today.
And apparently, good old Clay can manage. The Marlins are the first team in 11 years to reach 500 after being 16 or more games under 500. They were 24-40 at one point this year.
Watch out, Phillies and Mets.
Maybe he's trying out to be the next Yankees manager, because I don't know how long Aaron Boone is for this job. I think that, Boone's been through a lot, and they got to they 5 games of the World Series last year, and they lost. But they're so bad. The errors are, it's once a game, easy.
They're sophomoric.
And it's not corrected. You can blame it on whoever, but I think Derek Jeter coming out and being critical about them on the broadcast, I think that changes things a little bit.
Can you fire Boone 96 hours after making multiple trades to give him a better bullpen for the stretch run?
No, they'll fire him at the end of the season.
I think they should, and I think that they could do it and they could still turn this thing around. Like, I think that's a good question. Like, is that even plausible? Like, do you have to give him a chance with this new bullpen? But it's very clear that it's not just the bullpen. They're poorly coached. Or they're not listening to the coaching. Whichever one it is, it's not working. So it feels like these issues are going to carry their way into the postseason regardless, right?
And he's, like, not coaching, and he's, like, trying now to coach the coaches. Like, they seem like they don't know what's going on either, with the Jazz Chisholm getting picked off at first on a pop-up.
Yeah,
I'm Derek Jeter. You shot me.
I try not to overrule professional athletes since I'm not one of them. But if I know anything, it's baseball. I don't understand what he was doing yesterday by not going back to first base on a pop-up the second, nor his explanation. And then he's got the gall to go, I would do it again.
Yeah, he said, I would do
Why
it
would
again.
you do it again? It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Third out of an inning.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, I have nothing good to say about them.
No, but I think
They're idiots.
Jeter saying, this is unacceptable, or whatever he said on the Fox show is
damning.
Kind of, because they don't usually come out. He doesn't come out and criticize anything.
Saludos, compañeros.
Except Boomer Esiason.
And can we add that the Red Sox are awesome now, too?
Yeah.
In the post-Devers era, which another team.
Yankees are in third place, P.S.
Is that a death rattle? Jeez. Did you say World Series was back on Friday?
It was.
It's all over now.
It lost every game since.
All right, that's where we got to leave it, Bogusch.
Baseball.
Thank you so much. Coming up, as the Tar Heel turns, we haven't had a check-in on Bill Belichick in a minute. That will change next.
Do you think I'm going to read the MRI?
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
calling the plays, but she's calling the shots. It's time for As the Tar Heel Turns.
You just love any excuse to play that open, Maggie.
Well, we haven't done it in a while because Jordan Hudson, Belichick's girlfriend, has really been MIA, but she got a shout out this weekend from Mary Kay Cabot, who is the award-winning reporter for the Cleveland Browns for Cleveland.com and the Cleveland Plain Dealer. So she got inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Pearl. Such a big deal. And she was giving her speech, and she was reminiscing about her years covering Bill Belichick when he was the coach of the Browns.
Bill Belichick was the first Browns coach I ever covered. You see, if you start out with Bill Belichick, no one can rattle you after that.
Okay, starts off innocently enough. Let's hear more.
If Bill didn't like something I wrote, he'd call and yell at me. If you asked a dumb question, he'd call you out. Eventually, I had to learn to stand up to him. During one of those yelling matches, I told him, if you don't have the footballs to say that to the guys, then don't say it to me.
Okay, now we're getting a little more into the relationship between Mary Kay Cabot and Bill Belichick, and here's Mary Kay with the mic drop.
Now, I totally understand why Bill gave me such a hard time. I was 28 at the time, and he just couldn't relate to a woman that old.
I mean,
my God.
It's amazing. It's amazing that Mary Kay Cabot, long time, very highly respected reporter, went stand-up comedian in her Hall of Fame induction and landed the plane. I mean, she nailed it.
Oh, my goodness. And I just think, that joke, she's been sitting on some kind of Bill Belichick joke for 30 years, and then this thing fell in her lap, and she's like, I'm going for it. That's how much of a jerk Bill Belichick must have been to her all those years ago.
That was like Shane Gillis kind of stuff, too. It was not politically, it was kind of risque. It's not something that a reporter usually does. And Mary Kay is not somebody who throws out a lot of jokes. We've had her on the show. She's very strictly, she used to be on DP show all the time. She's very strictly business.
Yeah.
She doesn't mess around. She'll tell you what's really happening with the Browns. I can't believe that. I heard that on Sunday morning. I was shocked.
Little JJ Watt, that's what we used to call him.
The people at Netflix should have hired Mary Kay to write some of those jokes for the Tom Brady roast because that was really, really good. This is why you shouldn't mess with writers, man. Don't mess with writers.
I don't know if she could. That was dirty, the Tom Brady jokes. Mary Kay, I can't believe how well she delivered all that. That was great. I have new respect.
You saw Jordon Hudson's not happy about it, right?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, she retweeted a comment or reposted a comment.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, oh, this is what happens when the media thinks everything's about themselves and not, just covering the sport or whatever.
See, Jordan, you got to back down, honey. Just let it go. You got to get a thicker skin. None of this taught you anything, Jordan.
Don't say that, Maggie. We need Jordan Hudson on social media during the season. This is going to be fantastic, especially if for some reason the Tar Heels aren't good. Oh, if she's going to clap back at people, this would be great. So Jordan, we love you on every social media platform. Let's hear from you.
She said, the comment said, no wonder so many have contempt for the media, especially those who want to be the story rather than report on the story.
Wah, wah, wah. Oh, man, don't make it a...
First of all, Mary Kay was the story. She was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So this was her time to have the mic and talk about herself.
Also, how about this? Maybe your boyfriend probably shouldn't have been such a jerk to a reporter when they were 28 years old.
That's a good one.
I don't know.
And you got what was coming to you, Bill.
Maybe you should date somebody within 50 years of you. I don't think I don't think Bill Belichick being a jerk is the thing that stands out to me about this relation. How can you date a guy who is so grumpy as a coach? Maybe the fact that he's 72 and she's 24 would be a bigger issue.
And the fact that they met, she was 19.
Are we sure Jordan Hudson was alive when Bill Belichick wasn't very nice to Mary Kay Cabot?
She definitely wasn't.
She wasn't.
Yeah, but she was born in 2001.
Yeah, he was
not even close.
Yeah, he was already with the Patriots then.
Yeah.
He had been back to the Jets. And then
The Cleveland team wasn't even in Cleveland. They had left and already come back.
Yeah. Who knows? What was Mary Kay doing then?
But you mean Jordan?
No, between 95 and 2000.
She covering the Cavs, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we have to dive more into her speech.
Yeah, I know. That's good. She probably was in the speech.
Man. I can't believe Jordan Hudson tried to turn that into a media critique. That is some all-time spin.
Not surprised. Are you surprised?
Yeah,
really,
come
though?
on.
No, but I mean, that's like you can sit one out, Jordan. You can.
I also
It's
feel
okay to sit one out.
I also feel like you have to have some like level of like understanding that hey, like you went to this weird thing, people are gonna joke about it. You just
And Bill has how many people have been waiting their whole lives to get back at Belichick because he's been such a jerk?
Yeah. I'm saying you're also dating a very notorious jerk.
Annoying person.
Yeah, if this is Pete Carroll, I don't think people would have the same level of like, I'm going to use my Hall of Fame speech to zing Belichick.
Exactly. Yeah, she might have actually said, I mean, haha, that's kind of fun. Like, you got to have to laugh at yourself.
I don't think so.
I think you would be like, okay, yeah, obviously we have a big age difference. I think it'd be a better approach to sort of put the joke out first.
Oh,
Normal
totally.
people like you and I.
It's kind of like the big dumper. Like, Cal Raleigh did not like his nickname at first, and I think someone gave him some advice. Like, hey, the more you fight against this, the more they're going to call you the big dumper. The more
Embrace
you
it.
clap back at people and try to be whack-a-mole with every critique, the more we're going to go after it. Like, they're not we, but
And it's like they
people.
I feel like they kind of began that way with the fishing rod and the mermaid thing.
Yeah.
But like it seems like now they can't take the heat.
No.
I thought actually we were going to get a soundbite there where Maggie was going to say, embrace the big dumper. But now we got me saying it.
Ha-ha. Finally.
The tables have turned. Finally, I have an embarrassing quote. But don't worry, Michael Penix will be starting soon enough, and we'll have plenty of sound bites for Maggie.
He couldn't change his name to like Peters or something.
How about a guy who can fill 2 different holes?
Thank you, EJ Stewart. Thank you, Manny Rodriguez, Andrew Bogusch, Andrew Kaplan, Weedo's Coffee Drinkers. How awesome are you? See you tomorrow.